We are live on Pop Culture Breakdown, sort of. I am your host, Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I'm not wearing my helmet tonight because I don't want to get snot all over it. I am I am like not doing well, folks. My nose has been runny all day. You know, I got the sore throat, I got the cough. I just feel like shit, you know, breaking into sweats and then getting cold. So yeah, I'm taking the fucking helmet off. But you know what? Even at the center of the earth, even with supervillains, the show must go on. And so I just beg your pardon if I sneeze or hack into the mic. At least you can't catch it over the interwebs. I suspect it's allergies, honestly. I really do. I mean, it could be a cold or some shit. I really, look, dude, I don't know, but feel like shit. So on that note, let's go ahead and let's introduce our panel of pop culture pundits for the evening. Hail to Gary Ambrosia, who's in his cell at the center of the earth, and it's festively decorated Halloween regalia. And I see Slimer back there, which is very wonderful as well. Hail to you, Gary Ambrosia. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm okay. Apparently I'm doing better than you, man. You must be allergic to all this woke ass bullshit news, man.
I mean, to some extent, you know, I mean, but over the years I have developed a strong immunity to that. I think it's shit in the air, or I don't know, man. I really don't know. But we've got actually, I thought we didn't have a lot of shit to talk about tonight, but it turns out now we've got too much shit to talk about. So we're just gonna plow through it. We're just gonna plow through it. And I understand you've got a review of Saturday Night.
That I do. I do.
He's going to be sharing that in the second hour. And our own crash test smarty here, Doug Nelson, aka Mr. Nailson, is joining us once again. Doug, how are you, sir? And have you got anything to review over in the second hour?
Oh, we can talk about Agatha if you like.
Well, I mean, God knows. It's kind of like, you know, if a man is going to, you know, cut his own foot off with an axe, then by God, at least we can do is talk about it, right? I mean,
there's that.
Anything else you've got up your sleeve? The Rings of Power end, or I don't know.
I could give a good word to the Penguin show and the Superman and Lois show. Those are very good.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, we'll go over that in the second hour. Thank you, Doug Nelson, aka Mr. Nelson, and Mike, Mexican Iron Man, fresh off of his marathon sprint. For it is, you know, the second busiest tax season segment. I don't know what I'm talking about. Basically, you've been suffering, dude, and I think your suffering is at an end finally, right?
It apparently is so, Doomcock. The last tax deadline of the year has come and gone as of midnight last night, although Mexican Iron Man had some last-minute requests come in, so he was up till 3 a.m. Crap out. But you know, here I am. And Doomcock, I've got something to cheer you up that you're gonna kill me. You're gonna love.
Oh, you mother!
What's around the corner? Daylight savings time changes again.
But we go back.
Right.
We gain an hour.
Yes.
Actually, that does make me happy.
Oh, okay. It's the other one that pisses you off.
Oh, it's the one going forward.
Oh, okay,
where all of a sudden we're all jet lagged. But this way I get extra sleep and I get up and there's still a reasonable amount of day left. No.
Okay.
When is it coming though? It's like November, right?
On my birthday. It's on my birthday, November 3rd.
You're November 3rd.
Wow, what an awful way to celebrate daylight savings time. We get an extra hour with Rob. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So all of you that have Rob Wright, you know, in his famous Playgirl spread, you know, pinned to your ceiling, can wake up just a little earlier and you know, and just greet the day. You know, the best part of waking up is Robert in your cup.
Imagine the look on that poor bearskin rug.
And the
that
bear's
bear's
like
face is
thinking,
like-
help me. Yes. yes.
Yes.
The
That
bear
was
is
low
blinking
band.
in
What more
Morse
can I
code.
say?
Well, Robert, so thank you for that. And I guess then they'll switch back daylight savings time like in December, right? So we get a month of those
I
fucking
think
bastards, those
is
fucking
it in
pieces
March or April? I
of
don't know.
fucking bastards, fucking bastards.
Just leave it at one time and leave it alone. I just
It's like just leave it the fuck alone. Or if you're gonna do it like halfway through the fucking year. Not just give us like, okay, and here's 4 months of happiness, and here's the rectal exam for the spring. Go fuck yourselves. I'm sick of this shit. All these fucking farmers. I don't know who the fuck benefits from this shit. But
I have no idea.
oh man, we're not anyway. I'm sorry. I'm a
See,
little
that makes
crabby.
you angry. Me, that makes me happy because I'm like, great. In March, I get an hour less with Robert Wright.
Yeah, you do.
Y'all are gonna kill me. All right. Well, thank you, Robert. Nick of Echo Base Network. Disney Star Wars sucks. Welcome, Nick. It's great to see you, my friend.
Yeah, glad to be here. I'm going into, like Mike, I'm going into my busy time of the year. I just found out it's probably going to be extended for into the first 2 weeks of November, which sucks. I was actually showing Coach all the crap that I had to do for work, and it was a long list. And he was like, "Good God, you have to do all that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I feel Mike's pain. I will be pulling some late nights, but it is slow tonight, so I'm here and I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, Nick, because I didn't schedule this. I didn't list this in the listings, but we are going to have to talk about sister. No, not sister. You have a twin sister. No, sister, the trans clone trooper had a very shiny boop. But but we don't talk about that. It probably was. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into the the practical elements of this clone trooper thing, this all right, we're going to talk about that later. And we welcome back Osaka Chandal to the show. Hey, Osaka Chandal, I understand that you have a cause not to be feeling so great here tonight as well.
Hello and good morning. Yes, I had a wisdom tooth pulled in the side of my jaw and my tongue was swollen. So if I stutter on my words, it's because my tongue is still swollen.
Well, see, she's trying to make me feel bad about my lousy little cough and fever and drippy nose and stuff.
No,
But
we're
I
here to
just
give you love and support, Overlord.
and
You
back
didn't do
to
the
you.
queen. You're happy to be here.
Absolutely. And we're very proud of you for stepping up, even though you feel crappy. And if you have to go, that's okay. We totally understand. Just let us know. But we're glad you're here. And we have Anti-Derivative Jill, communications officer and true Star Trek fan. How are you, Jill?
I'm doing very well. I'm only upset that you're not feeling so well, but I appreciate being here tonight, and I'm ready to explain why I'll never think about meatballs the same way again.
All right,
later on
sounds
tonight.
good. Sounds fair.
But
Sounds
it has
fair.
to do with the Reanimator. It's a line.
Yes. Reanimator is an awesome film. We'll be talking about that later. And we have a special guest here, the DA. Hail to the DA. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you. I was told we're going to talk some shit about Hollywood. So I said, yeah, sign me up. Let's go. I'm ready to discuss whatever it is you guys want to talk about because Hollywood's in a bad place. This whole sister are we getting to that right away? Because I got something to say on that one. Man.
No, we're not. We're not starting out with that. But we will get to it because it kind of goes in a group. It kind of goes in a flow. Theoretically, although I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I feel kind of shitty. But all right, let's go ahead and start with the breakdown here, shall we? Okay, so I did a video earlier today that I found rather amusing. And I thought you guys would like to talk about this. Essentially, Ncuti Gatwa who, some of you might know as Doctor Who, although it's really Dr. Nod or Doctor Who Gives a Shit or good God, it's awful. So apparently, people have been wondering, because there is going to be a season 2 of Shitty Gatwa's, Who escapades, because, they kind of pre-booked it. It's kind of like Rings of Power. There was a season 2 of that, no matter how badly it did, just because, it was commissioned and contracted and et cetera and so on. Funds were committed, amortization, you understand. But the real question is, given the horrible ratings and everything else, people have been wondering, will there be a 3rd season with Ncuti Gatwa as the gay Doctor of Color? So in an article titled "The BBC Didn't Censor Ncuti Gatwa Over Doctor Who Being Renewed, but says his comment about season 3 was wide of the mark," Deadline covered this situation. This is very funny to me. And it implies certain things about his future as the Doctor, in my opinion. Deadline quoted in this article, "When Ncuti Gatwa recorded the Graham Norton show last Thursday, he delivered what appeared to be good news for Doctor Who fans." Well, no, good news for, the strange pod people that have replaced Doctor Who fans, but never mind. His 3rd season as the Time Lord would shoot next year. Gatwa's comments were briefed to the press by the Graham Norton show's publicity team on Friday morning. But his quote mysteriously changed when the chat show broadcast on BBC One later that evening. Speaking to Norton on the famous red sofa, Gatwa originally said, "We did the 2nd series this year. The Christmas special is coming up, and we are filming a 3rd series next year." But when the show actually aired, all of that was edited to, "We finished the 2nd season earlier this year. We've got the Christmas episode coming out at Christmas, but it's been amazing." Now, the Graham Norton show warns journalists that it's not unusual for certain quotes fail to make the final cut, but the switch led some Whovians to question whether Gatwa's remarks had been censored by the BBC amid uncertainty over Doctor Who's future. And this is hilarious. In this article, Deadline says the truth is rather more mundane. Deadline understands the Graham Norton show made the edit to liven up Gatwa's answer and was not obeying a sinister request from BBC bosses. That sounds like complete bullshit to me. I mean, what could be more lively than a revelation that indeed there is going to be a 3rd series with Ncuti Gatwa for those who are so inclined to such travesties? But no, just yanking it out and saying, yes, like it was edited to go, "We've got the Christmas episode coming out at Christmas, but it's been amazing." I mean, it doesn't seem like censorship so much as some maniac with some fucking scissors and some Scotch tape just went in there and, kind of randomly chopped shit and pasted it together with mucilage or something. It doesn't pass the stink test. However, then this is what really gets worse, folks. The BBC, the article continues, get this. The BBC has, however, distanced itself from Gatwa's remarks, restating that Doctor Who will not be renewed until the actor's 2nd season has premiered next year on BBC One and Disney Plus. "As we've said previously, the decision on season 3 will be made after season 2 transmits. And as always, we don't comment on speculation," a spokesperson said. Well, it seems to me like the BBC threw Ncuti Gatwa under ye olde TARDIS. What does it seem to you guys? So I want to ask Mexican Iron Man at this point, because you are a true Whovian. Mike, what make you of all this code?
At Doomcock, I want to tell you I'm really excited about my date next year with Salma Hayek.
Wow.
It's going to be amazing. No, there's no date with Salma Hayek. Just like there's nothing else here to look forward to. This guy is delusional. In fact, we've got to remember something too. Like ever since this guy first hit the red carpet, way back when, he's been very, he's been very verbose. He's been very just out there, and I don't mean even from like a high there. I mean just very braggadocious about the whole thing. And I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to rescue and salvage his career. His decision to portray this character because let's be real, the scripts were god awful, but they could have gone differently. Like he could have played the Doctor. That's the same script and story, and God knows we all watched every single freaking minute of every single episode.
It was awful.
Like it was in the back of my head until you brought up the story just now, and I started like twitching. Like
yeah.
But no, he could have played this completely differently, and he could have been different about it. And he could have been gracious about it. I've never heard any appreciation to the fans. I've never heard any appreciation to the true lore of the Doctor. Until I get an actor with some humility and some humility for the opportunity that he gets, and some appreciation for the road that was paved before him, so that he could walk in this career. I don't want to hear anything more from this guy. I love it that the BBC got the message that we sent them, which was, guess what? By the end of that thing, I think pretty much the only ones watching it, Doomcock, were the guys reviewing it on this panel. That's how it felt like. Because I talked about it before in one of these shows. Of all the friends that I have, and I got some friends, we fight, this doctor's better than that doctor, and this is my number 2 doctor, this is my number 3 doctor. Bro, nobody was watching it but the Mexican guy of all the Whovian friends I got. Like, I was the only one. Right? And, and as we know, for years, somebody would latch on to, whatever doctor they latched onto, and we'd have the fun with that. I want to know this. Where are all of the shooting guys? Where are all of his people that follow him saying, "Oh yes, we need more of that"? No one's saying that, bro. No one.
Not even as many as are calling for the Acolyte. The Acolyte has hundreds of dedicated fans, and I'm talking hundreds.
Right. At least the Acolyte fundraiser raised like $2,000. No one's raising nothing for this guy.
What? Don't breeze over $2,000. I mean, when you say it like that, it's just $2,000. Okay. Let's be fair. 2,000.
I stand corrected,
hundreds,
my lord,
of fans.
I stand corrected, my lord.
That's like 2 weeks of gas for my truck.
Disney's got a gold mine here. I cannot understand.
$2,000's what I burned through at the strip club just in the first 2 hours.
Right, making it rain for Shooty.
Doomcock, the other aspect of it is that the Doctor's been around for over 60 years. There's prestige to that role. He doesn't act like it's a prestigious role at all. And then he put down the fans. We got on him. I wouldn't have a problem with them if he, number one, acted like the Doctor and took it seriously. And number two, didn't criticize fans. He told all the fans to, eat grass.
Go touch grass. Yeah,
touch grass. I mean, what a jerk. Who does that to your fans? How do you get people to follow you? Get people to be interested in your character and your story? You treat them like crap after one show? I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Have some respect for the lore. Have some respect for your fans. Have some respect for yourself. I mean, my goodness, the biggest problem I have with all this woke crap is that it's not even seriously about anything important. It's about themselves. It's such selfish bull crap. And that's the problem with this. We wanted a Doctor Who story about the Doctor and about his adventures and about the things that he does that he's done for 60 years. And we're not getting that because you got to have somebody that's playing it as themselves, because their life story and they are more important than our fandom. And that's the biggest problem we've got. And that's why
it's really the Shooty Gatwa show, not Doctor Who.
They're also forgetting that it's supposed to be a family-based show, and he keeps doing things that's more like adult content type thing and trying to make it more about his sexual preferences and pronouns and stuff that shouldn't even be there to begin with. Like, it's a family show. Even the Christmas special, family show. It's supposed to be family-oriented, where parents can sit down with their kids and feel safe enough that what they're about to view is safe enough for their children to understand. You don't want the little kids wondering, like, Dad, what does he mean by this? Why is they doing this? Why is the doctor making out? Why is he crying every 5 seconds?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the thing is, the doctor was never like sexual. He was not like a, horn dog. I mean, maybe he was, getting some off of Romana, maybe, but we never saw it.
Yes,
We can imagine it, or, we can say, well, if it was me, it's kind of like Major Nelson and Jeannie. Are you telling me he never touched that in all those years where they're running around in those pink PJ? Come on, but we never saw it. We don't have to see it. It's for your, it's.
We don't need to know what happens behind closed door in their bedroom chambers.
No, we don't.
Not important.
Jill, are you at all a Who fan? I can't remember.
Well, I don't know too much about it. It was great that Osaka mentioned that it's a family show, because I've watched the first 3 seasons of New Who specifically with my son, and we haven't gone on after that yet, but we're working on it.
Well, now you know where to stop.
Yeah, I know where to stop. Well, yeah, before Jody. So
courtesy of Pop Culture Breakdown, you know where to stop. How about the DA? Have you ever been a fan of Doctor Who?
I am not. I've never really watched Doctor Who. Just couldn't get into it. Not that I don't respect the fan base and the lore and everything behind it. It's just never been something that interested in me. But I've been following the story of this guy who is absolutely upset the apple cart with this entire, woke agenda. Everything that's going on within the franchise right now is just emblematic of what Hollywood has become. Which is just a giant dumpster fire. So yeah, I'm not surprised that he's taken Doctor Who to acolyte levels of woke nonsense and garbage. And now he's gonna try to talk. I guess he's trying to speak a 3rd season into existence. Nobody's rocking with this show. Nobody cares about him as the Doctor. I'm not surprised that this is where it's at. Sadly and unfortunately, all of our franchises are getting co-opted, taken over, and destroyed by these morons in Hollywood and, the woke side. And it's tragic, man. It's tragic. Again, somebody that doesn't even like Doctor Who, or I respect the fact. I actually had one time a guy reached out to me from a Doctor Who fan club because he wanted to promote my book or something on fan website. And, he was asking me about, are you into Doctor Who, this and that? And I was like, no, I don't really know anything about it. But, I respect the fact that you guys are so passionate. He had a huge fan website. So I've always had some respect for Doctor Who fans and Whovians. But I mean, this is just sad, man, to see, what has happened to all of these franchises. And it's just like, we were talking about earlier. Hollywood needs to kind of peel back and figure out what it wants to do, and quit pissing the fans off, because the fans are the ones that built Doctor Who and Star Trek, Star Wars, and all of these other major franchises. To keep slapping fans in the face time and time again and try to throw things into the franchise that don't belong, it's just going to end in tragedy, But I'm starting to become more of an accelerationist. I want to see this stuff speed into oblivion and absolutely burn all of these franchises to the ground, and then let some people that care about them buy them back from all of these woke assholes that have destroyed them, and then we can start doing some real work with these franchises and building them back to where they were. So I hope that this guy gets whatever he wants, and I'm sorry, Whovians, all right. But I'm on my accelerationist trip right now. I want to see these things accelerate into the ground. All right, because the slow march of death that we're watching with our favorite franchises is frustrating. So let's hurry up and get it over with. Let's get to the other side of this thing so we can rebuild from the ashes.
Yeah.
Well said, my friend. Thank you for that. I gotta say, I'm glad that we have been chronicling this downfall, because I think that we really have made a difference in terms of penetrating, through to the normies. I mean, it really has kind of gotten to the point where, even they have started noticing this shit. And that's when Hollywood's really in trouble, but because they keep doing shit in every single dimension of fandom, including games, including books. Here's an example. I want to go ahead. I want to get the input of some of the ladies on this stuff, because this is garbage, folks. Let me I'm kind of juggling these screens here. Okay, so look at this. Lara Croft, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a lot of talk about a new Netflix series featuring Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. And in a lot of the shots, I mean, they've basically stripped away a lot of her femininity. They've made her more masculine, more muscled, less curvy. And of course, she is gay in the show, from what I understand. That's what I haven't watched the damn thing. I'm not going to watch the damn thing, but it's almost like Aerosmith, right? Dude looks like a lady. Was a reverse prophet. Lady looks like a dude, and I just feel like this is not empowering to women. This is essentially anti-feminist. This is hostility to women, because they are saying that feminine characteristics are inferior to masculine characteristics, because to make a female character respected and to be a strong woman, she has to basically act like a dude, and she has to like women. It's just like I do not see that as respectful. I see that as just basically the same old shit, just in a slightly different package. And I'd like to know what you ladies think about that. Anti-derivative Jill, what do you think about this this trend towards making women masculine? And then I'm going to go to Osaka
Well,
Chan.
sure, it does kind of feel like they're saying that men make better women than we do. So Lara Croft's supposed to be a smoke show. She's supposed to be somebody that I want to be, somebody that a kind of hero who I can aspire to. Like, it's like Superman for men. You got to see a big bulk guy. You don't want a twig as your character. So it's very similar to that. It's the same old story. If you're going to completely redefine the character, write your own story. But instead, we get this androgynous character, and who doesn't resemble the lady I played when I was playing PlayStation when I was a kid.
Right.
She's supposed to be like Indiana Jones, and I don't know. I haven't seen the show. Is she nerdy? Does she read books and use?
I haven't seen the
tools?
show. I'm not going to watch the damn show. Osaka Chan doll, have you seen the show, or have you heard anything
Yes.
about it?
Yes, and it's frustrating.
Well,
So-
what do you think about it?
As someone who grew up with Lara Croft, and I hit puberty at a young age, so I developed chest-wise really large. I am a 38 double D. So, and I'm a petite girl. I'm tiny. So to see Lara Croft and for them to keep saying, oh, her body wasn't realistic proportions and blah, 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 that's all BS. And perfect proof of that, Angelina Jolie played her, which I loved. It was like the perfect casting choice. Here in the show, that cartoon show, they took everything that made her amazing away. Her independence, the fact that she doesn't really need people to solve her problems, or that she has daddy issues. Like, they gave her so many awful traits in the show. She's constantly crying. She's constantly depending on her so-called friends, who are also really annoying. And instead of her like trying to take over her father's footstep or figure out who killed him, no, she's mourning over somebody else who's unimportant. And then she's not a lesbian in it, but they're hinting that she is. So it's like, will they or won't they kiss kind of thing, which is really, really stupid. Like, she was never into her sexuality. Like, that was never the focal point in the games. And she wasn't gay. She never was gay. In fact, she actually can't stand how most women act, because she thinks they act so stupid for being the damsel in distress. And she was basically our female version of Indiana Jones. And so it was just like really angry that they're literally turning her into a dude. They're making it seem shameful. If you're a girl who has boobs, like, they have boobs, you should be ashamed of it, and that you should want to be like flat chested and be macho. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, that's the same thing with Star Wars Outlaws, where they had a perfectly beautiful female model, and they go ahead and give her, Han Solo's chin you know, the haircut from the feral kid in Road Warrior, you know.
It's just like that I hate. It's like they keep saying this is what women want. Women can relate to her more. I'm sorry, I can't relate to Man Raider over here. It's like no,
I
away her beautiful face because yeah, they took away her beautiful face. Like the thing is, she was proving that you can be feminine, you can be smart, you can be self-dependent, and you can do things on your own without having to rely on anyone else but your own will and intelligence and strength. And this one, they're making her cry every 5 seconds because someone got their feelings hurt.
Yeah, she was. She was more of a loner.
Mm-hmm.
That's bizarre. What do you guys think about this? Gary, anything to say about this particular story? I mean, haven't you noticed this trend to basically, it's like, you know, these SJW purple hair nose ringers are kind of hell-bent on frustrating the male gaze. You know, they don't want men seeing anything in women to please them because, you know, God forbid that we should be happy.
Have I noticed the trend? Sure. Snow White. Who else? Okay, so we've got the Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah,
there's been I mean, there's so many different female characters that have been robbed of their femininity. And then, you know, it's interesting. Osaka-chan points out that Lara Croft is the female Indiana Jones, which is what she is. Look what they did to Indiana Jones. They turned him into an effeminate old man, an old geezer who's like, you know, not a man at all. They're making these ladies more men than Indiana Jones.
More man than man is our motto.
Exactly. You know, like, is it a trend? Hell yes. It's absolutely a trend. And they want that to be, they're pushing that influence on people who don't know about Lara Croft. You know, it's like, well, this is what it's supposed to be. Man, girl, boss. You know,
yeah, but
like,
it's bullshit.
Yes, it is. It is absolute horseshit.
I only had time to watch a brief clip, but it wasn't very good. In that clip, she had a male companion, and she brushes him off, saying she doesn't need a babysitter, and then she outshines his athletic performance, making sure that he feels redundant and unnecessary.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the only way Indiana Jones ever felt like a man was putting Marion in her place, you know, or you know. Or Willie Scott, you know, making sure she knew, you know, who, you know, was swinging the whip around here. You know, what a crock of shit. Who was, were you talking, Nick? Or
yeah, I was just going to mention, you know, they really started this back in 2020 with the Last of Us sequel, where they kill off Joel, who's the main character from the second one, and then bring Abby in, who's basically, you know, like a trans dude. And fans absolutely rejected that game. And I don't know how many of you guys remember that story when it was coming out, but Naughty Dog just literally just got destroyed for that Last of Us Part 2.
It's like, how can you give us a character like Joel that everyone loved, that you related to him, you rooted for him, even when he like saves Ellie and everything, and then you have him viciously and brutally murdered by this person, and then you're forced to play as her.
Yeah.
For like half the game.
That was insane.
Of course, everyone gets frustrated. Like, we don't want to play this person.
Yeah. And then she gets rammed from behind in the game.
After she, like, the pregnant woman gets killed.
Yep. Yeah.
It was like fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jesus. I'm so glad I completely didn't play that.
It's like you were saying, Doomcock, like, this is the most misogynist thing ever to say that femininity is bad. You know, it's like, having these attractive women is a bad thing when most women want to be attractive. You know, nobody wants to see a masculine woman. It goes against the grain. It goes against everything men like and women like. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand why they keep going in this direction. And then they have, I think, what's her name is playing Lara Croft, Haley Atwell, who is like one of the finest, most beautiful actresses in Hollywood. And you got this very feminine woman who should be the prototype for, you know, Lara Croft, like, you know, like very attractive, buxom, beautiful, busty. That's who should be, not this dude, all right, in a wig. Like, why are you doing it? Man, This
Yeah.
is anti-women. This is anti-everything we know to be as men and women. Nobody wants to see this crap. But yet this is what they keep giving us. And this is why you guys are failing, because you guys keep giving us the crap that goes against humanity. It goes against our natural instincts of men and women and nature. It's like it's going against all of that. Why would you want to do that? God only knows. But yeah, this is why this crap fails. It fails on its face because you guys don't seem to understand like normal people. And what normal people, forget all the people that are, watching all of these various channels. They don't know what normal, just regular run-of-the-mill people want. All right. I'm sorry, man. Like guys like beautiful women. All right. Buxom, blonde, great skin, shapely. That's what we want, and that's what Lara Croft was. That's why we like the game.
It's not
all right.
just
Lara
men.
Croft was a gorgeous woman.
Yep.
It's not just men though. Like they keep saying, "Oh, it's just
Yeah,
distract
it's
the
not
male
just dudes,
gaze. It's
exactly.
distract the male gaze." The thing is, it's not just for the male gaze. I'm sorry, as a girl, when we're playing a video game, we don't want to play someone who look like they fell off the ugly tree. We want to, if we're playing for hours, we want someone who we want to strive to be like. Like if we see ourselves as beautiful, we want to play as someone who's just as equally or more so that we can say, yeah, one day I'm gonna look like that. Yeah, I want to be as fit as that. If I work out hard enough, I can achieve that. Not I'm gonna look like Frank from next door with a wig.
Exactly. If I'm playing, Castle Wolfenstein or some shit, I don't want to play a character that looks like Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory, for fuck's sake, right?
Thank you.
The other thing that gets me, okay, you have that beautiful actress playing as a voice actress, and she also played Peggy Carter, and she was great as that. And the thing is, you have these stupid articles coming out shaming women's bodies that look like women's bodies because you have boobs, or you have curves, or you have a bum, or you have a beautiful face. No, we must insult that and see it as a downfall. So then why are you having a beautiful actress play her voice, and then you're going to shame everything that made her a beauty? You're making anything beautiful seem shameful, which is stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody's out there striving to look like Lizzo.
No,
not really. Although it's generally easy to achieve if you just need a couple of good restaurants. Go ahead, Robert.
Oh, I was going to say, they didn't even learn from, Kevin Smith brings back He-Man in his show, and part of the many failures of that stupid show was that he made all the women incredibly big, huge, almost guy-like people. I mean, Tila, for goodness sakes, from back in the day when we used to watch it, Tila was fine. She was beautiful. She was slender, athletic. She fit in with the group. And now you made her into a big, muscular woman, so she looks like a man, just like Lara Croft here. It didn't work. It turns people off. It turns fans of the franchise off. It's stupid. It's all because some stupid person wants to see themselves on the screen or wants to see what they think they are on the screen, instead of, hey, what do the fans want? Hey, what looks like a normal person? Or, hey, what looks like somebody that we all can aspire to be like? Nope.
No, what they're trying to do essentially is rewire human programming. They're trying to reprogram the human race out of detecting sexual differences. They're trying to blur the lines between male and female, making men more feminine, making women more masculine. It's essentially one big gaslighting, trying to completely rewire human behavior.
You're trying to go against the grain of how many thousands of years of evolution, all right, that have said, yo, men like women that look like this, and women want to be women that look like this because the men like them. So you're trying to rewire, like you said, hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, depending on where you are with that. You're trying to rewire what we like. Again, like I said, you're going against the grain. All right, you're going against what we all like and we all know, and 99.99% of people across the globe like. And you're trying to do this for this tiny little minority of people. It's not going to work. All right, it's not going to work. You're going to fail, and that's why these franchises are going belly up. All right, because these idiots don't understand. Hey, man, do what worked. What worked the first time? Let's do that again. All right, that seemed to work. Oh, Lara Croft, big breasts, beautiful woman. Let's do it again. All right. Nothing wrong with that. It worked the first time. And if it'll work every single time if you just do what the people want. All right. Listen to the fans and you can't go wrong.
It's very true.
Think of what the human body type naturally looks like. They're trying to distort it. They really are, because they're making men look more and more and more women-like, which they don't naturally look like
Yeah,
that
that
unless
part
you're like
too.
in
Yeah.
like a boy idol group or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's part of this,
Yeah.
very, LGBTQIA MOUSE agenda. And, I mean, Doug, it's kind of like the anti-sex league in 1984. It really is, where they're
Yeah.
basically trying to eliminate sexual differences, sexual desire. It's all got to be, all gay all day, baby.
Mhm.
And it's
You-
also self-insertion, because the director Joey Soloway used to be named Jill. So
Well,
she changed her name
Oh,
and
well,
protein
yeah.
pronouns.
that well may be possible. But were you going to say something, Doug?
Well, I mean, all of the outcomes are inevitable, and I mean, I guess the term would be woke feminism. Was always primarily intended to be misandrous, but it had tons of misogyny sprinkled throughout it, because it ultimately becomes an attack on femininity and what have you. And of course, all of this is elements of, yes, trying to corral the herd of humanity. So you're going to treat humanity as a herd of livestock and try to train them to suddenly change, the evolution and what have you. And they will lose. They have always lost it. But unfortunately, the damage they wrought is severe. And it's just one of those things you have to, recover from. And that's what's going to happen here. And it's obvious that the only odd thing about it is how many more of these keeps happening, and how late in the hour to keep pursuing this idiocy when the conclusion is already written is the only real question, because it's just, there's no audience for it. There's no market for it and all of that, because it denies human nature and so on and so forth. And you just can't speak fantasy like that into reality as they continue to think they can. But it's insane. It will not occur. And so the end result is what you see here. Failed franchises all over the place, despite the fact that what they chastise and criticize and all that was the formula that worked.
Yeah. No, the great problem with their plan is that they're following the Clockwork Orange model. But the
Right.
problem is they don't have the little metal eyelid attachments for all of us. And so we can look away. And we do look away. And that's the fatal flaw in their cunning Baldric-like plan, those stupid fucks. You know what I mean?
Right.
So let's this kind of goes along with the other thing, folks. One of these things is like the other. We have Sister, a trans woman clone trooper. This was a tweet that was coming out here, The Secrets of the Clone Troopers. A first look at Sister, a trans woman clone trooper, says Rex's description of Sister in the book reads, when one of our kind expressed her gender identity differently than her fellow troopers, she figured she'd have to hide who she was. And basically, this is what I think it was from Slash Film or something. Sister was a transgender clone trooper who encountered Anakin Skywalker early on during the Clone Wars. He was struck by the clone's decision to acknowledge Sister's uniqueness, acknowledging her gender identity with the assigned name Sister. She served as a member of the 7th Sky Corps, working with Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi on several missions. Anakin gave an affirming response to Sister, who wasn't sure how the Jedi would react to her. The Jedi are all about transcending things, Anakin told her wryly. I don't think we can complain if you transcended gender. Transcended gender. Nick, what do you think about this? What did you think when you saw this, dude?
So I had not heard about this, but apparently this clone trooper made her his first appearance in a book back in 2022.
Well, I'm not surprised.
And then another book, I guess, just came out and they're pushing it. But Wikipedia out there has updated their information to make sure that she, him, whatever has the proper pronouns and all that sort of garbage out there for this character. And this just goes, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Bob Iger come out a while back ago and say he's kind of getting away from all this woke agenda and political nonsense crap? You know, and here we are.
Trying to, allegedly. I mean, that's the rumor. You know, that's what he's telling investors anyway. And yet, you know, the woke rot is very deep in this, you know.
Big time. And so here we go, you know, with sister and the pronouns and all that sort of garbage once again. And this is just more woke idiocracy from Disney and Lucasfilm. And like the DA was saying earlier, I'm on board for just fast tracking these franchises into the ground to the point to where they are making zero money. And they are forced to sell them because they can't do anything with them because what they are doing with them isn't working. But they don't seem to want to course correct either. I mean, how many years have they had to course correct with Star Wars? And they don't seem to be doing it. And they just keep going just doubling down. We just got the Wokealite, and look how that fared for them. Not good at all. And now here we go with this. And it's just more of the same from these woke, you know, corporations.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you know, I've said all along that, you know, it is an abomination for the minority to be bullied by the majority. You know, that is not how a society should function. The majority should not push around and shame and outlaw, you know, minority viewpoints, however, you know, whether they're, you know, racial or sexual or whatever. I mean, that's tyranny. But conversely, the minority should not be allowed to bully the majority. And that's kind of like what's happening here, because in ratio of trans, you know, population to trans representation in the media, it's everywhere. It's in your face. You cannot escape it. And it is becoming, it's way oversaturated, but it's becoming tyranny. It's becoming, and you can't even hardly talk about it. You have to watch your fucking mouth when you fucking talk about it, even though it's in your fucking face all the time. Rainbows here, rainbows there, you know, trans here, trans there. I mean, it's just in everything, in kids programming, in kids books. I mean, it's insane. It is really like they've gotten some kind of monopoly on pop culture media, and it's way out of proportion to the actual demographic.
Well, you mentioned flags. Apparently, that stormtrooper, the colors on it are apparently the trans colors for their flag.
Yeah, that's the thing that takes you out of it. It's like they just dragged the real world in. It's like, okay, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be escaping, right?
Modern day politics injected into a galaxy far away.
Yeah, right.
Trans colors on the phone and everything.
Star Wars.
What was that? We're talking, Chandal?
I said the fact that they keep putting Earth-related stuff into Star Wars when it's in a galaxy far, far, far away where Earth doesn't even exist.
And anyway, the problem isn't that trans people, you know, trans characters exist. It's that it's being marketed to children. You know, instead of telling kids to appreciate the way you are, it's kind of telling them you need to change. You need to be different. You need to have these hormones and surgeries in order to be happy. And that to me is absolutely terrifying.
Well, yeah, that's messed up. What did you think when you saw this story, the DA?
Oh man, I was mad. I was pissed. But like I said, I'm an accelerationist, so I quickly got over that feeling and I said, all right, let's go. All right, more trans characters. Let's get some more stuff. Let's run it into the ground. Let's go. All right, because I'm tired of Star Wars. Look, I've said this many times on my channel. I will die on Star Wars Hill. That is my love. That is my first love of franchises. Back when I was 4 or 5 years old, that is the franchise that I will rock with beyond all of these other ones. But I'm at the point now where in order to save Star Wars, you're going to have to burn it down. You're going to have to burn Lucasfilm to the ground and rebuild it from the ashes. So I'm okay with it. All right. So yeah, I was pissed at first, but now I'm like, you know what? This is needed. All right? We need to run this damn shit into the ground so that we can rebuild and start over fresh. All right. Because Disney doesn't know what the hell they're doing. They keep trying to inject all of this woke crap into Star Wars. Star Wars fans ain't rocking with it. It's obvious at this point. So give us more of this, all right? This is what we need right now. Thank you very much, Disney. We need more bullshit like this. forced into Star Wars to where it doesn't belong. And then once we get there, all right, now we got something. Now we got action, all right? Because you guys are going to lose all your money, all right? You already see it with the Acolyte. They're about to burn up a whole lot more money with this Mando and Grogu movie. Everybody's talking about it like this thing is going to be a disaster. They got the Rey movie on the dock. That's going to be a disaster. So yes, let's burn Star Wars to the ground just temporarily so Disney can be forced to say, yo, we got to do something else with this. Let's sell this property. Let's get it out of here so we can make some money off of this, because they invested $4 billion for no reason. You know, they invested $4 billion to destroy their franchise. That is absolutely insane. You know, the stuff that we're seeing out of this with this trans trooper, and that's the other thing, like, it breaks lore. Like, the Kaminoans would have iced that trans trooper if they came out defective. Like, what, you think you're a chick? Oh yeah, you gotta go. All right, you can't be out there running missions. Like, you think you're a woman. That's insane. They would have iced that trans trooper like that. All right. And look, I don't got nothing against people, but in the lore, that character never would have made it to anything. All right, they would have saw that immediately. You know, like you showed the picture, they got like cornrows and all.
Right.
Like, no. We ain't doing that, man. The Kaminoans would have killed him. All right.
Yeah, they're not very much about individuality. You're right, man. That's
you got to be a perfect clone of Jango Fett. All right, that's what you need to be. All right, and yeah, there's going to be some little slight variances based on personality or whatever, but that's too far against the grain. Okay, so yeah, they never would have let that trooper live, not for a second. So yeah, listen, like I said, let's go Star Wars. You guys want to go? You guys really want to burn this franchise down? Do so. All right, I'm ready for it. All right, because I'm ready for Star Wars to get back to being Star Wars, not this trash. But I know we got to go through this process. All right, it's going to be hard to watch, but we got to go through this process to get to the other side of it. And then once we get to the other side, I think we're going to be good.
Well, I think we're closer there. Now, wait a minute. Oh, dear. It looks like one of our own has transitioned, ladies and gentlemen. Mexican Iron Man is now going by Michelle. I'm a little disturbed about what. Wow, that was a fast process.
That was quick. Someone has got to take a stand against these stormtroopers, and I announce that I am now Michelle. I am the squadron commander of Goldwing. Oh wait, I got to change my voice. I am the squadron commander of Goldwing, and I am the first Latinx non-binary X-Wing squadron commander. From this day forward, I shall be known as Michelle, and I shall traverse the galaxy in whatever gender I need to be, because it's about who I am, Doomcock. It's not about the rebellion. It's about my needs and my feelings. And right now, I choose to identify.
Tell us your truth, Michelle.
I choose to identify as Michelle, an X-Wing Gold Squadron commander. Pew pew. Pew, pew.
That is stunning and brave. And boy,
wow.
I tell you, I mean,
brave,
girlfriend,
so
I
brave.
tell you, you really put the X from Latinx in X-Wing.
Michelle's credit score just went up 30 points.
Yeah, you're tweeting it, Michelle.
Wow,
Go
the things Michelle will do to increase Disney's dividend.
Look at that. You know,
Are you kidding? You put me on screen and people are going to watch that show. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
That's true. Michelle, Latinx, non-binary, X-Wing, or actually, yeah, no, I guess it would be X-Wing, not a Y-Wing.
Latinx, X-Wing. Get it?
Yes, yes.
You see what I did there?
Holy
yes.
shit.
I put my gender neutrality in the ship, and the ship is me, and now it's a Latin X-Wing. See that?
Yeah, go Queen.
I am way more creative than Locust Film.
Holy shit. It looks almost like, you know, Khaleesi from Game of Thrones jumped into Star Wars and ate some chocolate.
Well,
See, like that chocolate around the mouth.
We've only got so many wigs here in the Hilton Head Island. We don't have too many of these things. We got to use what we got.
Wow, Jim, we might actually get KK to watch the show if Mexican Iron Man's going to do that.
Yeah.
Oh man, she's taking notes right now. She's like, "This is so good."
Yeah, I am. It's like, why didn't I think of that? Latinx wing. Oh.
It would be like a flying taco or something, wouldn't it? Like two tacos like glued at the middle, you know, and you know, it'd be great.
It would be a cis taco though.
Oh, it's this taco.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. All right. Well, folks, let's go ahead here. And okay, let me line this up real quick here. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I've got everything. Hold on just a second here. Okay.
Man, I'm starting to get a little thing in my throat here. I
I'm
think
sorry,
we got to get
dude.
that. I think we got to
Hopefully-
get that sexy maid robot to come in and clean the air ducts in our cells here.
You mean Rosie
Okay.
from the Jetsons? Boy, you
Yes.
have been isolated too long, dude.
I'm sorry. Well, she's a good-looking gal. She's a little, she's got a little junk in the trunk, but she's all right,
She's kind of like a mechanical
Job done.
version of Hazel,
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some super chats here real quick. All right, folks, let me go ahead and present you guys in the chat so you all can go ahead and participate here while I read the super chats. Evan Peterson with 3 $5 super chats in a row. Hail to Evan Peterson. Thank you, sir, for these. He says, well, at least one of my suggestions made it. DC's favorite. Reanimator is a definite schlock fest, a guilty pleasure if ever there was one. But how can you not love a movie that practically defines the term so bad it's good, when even the cast can't take it seriously? What the fuck are you talking about, Evan Peterson? What do you mean schlock fest? Reanimator's fucking awesome. It's a work of fucking genius. I take it seriously. But he says, I don't want to step on Gary's research, but Barbara Crampton herself says her favorite review says, okay, wait a minute. It was in a fourth super chat here. Another 2 $5 super chats. Evan Peterson says Barbara Crampton, who is creamy pink all over, is at her best when being defiled. Gotta love a woman like that and agree with her. I know DC and I think so. It's the scene everybody returns to. This is a movie that you not only have to suspend disbelief for, you have to launch. Okay. These are over a whole bunch of, hold on a sec. I'll try to, sorry, Evan, hold on a second here. I'm jumping between screens to keep up with you, buddy. Okay. Jesus Christ. All right. Here we are. Evan Peterson's, this is a movie that you not only have to suspend disbelief for, you have to launch it into orbit. How can he talk without lungs? How can that body do anything if the brain isn't attached? What good does it do to put his head in a pan of blood when there is no heart to pump it through? You really don't want to think very hard while watching this. Well, thanks for ruining it, Evan Peterson. Thanks for ruining a perfectly good horror movie, because it's because of Herbert West in that formula, because all the cells are animated, dude. All the dead cells are pumping oxygen, and it's like supernatural, man. It's a supernatural delight, like Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. Don't be a naysayer. Don't be a party pooper, Evan Peterson.
There's a psychic connection to the spinal cord.
Yeah. The spinal cord's connected to the psyche. The psyche's connected to the horny. And Barbara Crampton makes me horny and all the blood leaves my head so I can't think. And that's a recipe for brilliance. So, but you're right, Evan Peterson. Bastard. All right. You're right. You're right. But I'm not going to dwell on that. All I can think of is Barbara Crampton. All right. Don Lewis with a $4 I'm shallow. Don Lewis with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Don. Says, quotes Dragon Lady, who says, Catfusia say, he who caters to the modern audience may as well throw poo at a fan. The end result is the same. Thank you, Don Lewis. Yeah, essentially they are throwing poo at fans. That's been KK's technique all along, isn't it true? Jack White with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jack. Says, hail, my lord. Have you gotten a chance to check out any of the series I've recommended you yet? And did you get those manga I sent you links to? No, my friend, not yet. I'm currently kind of overloaded at this point, but I have them in mind. And as time presents itself, I will be investigating the things you send. You have very good taste, sir, as you have proven in the past. I log your comments and your recommendations, and more importantly, share them out to all the audience here, because people need more anime. They need more manga in their lives. I think everyone will agree with that. And Michael Whitehead with a 10-pound super chat. Thank you very, very much, Michael Whitehead. Says 57 today. Wow, I think Michael Whitehead is saying that today he turned 57 years old. Happy birthday, Michael Whitehead. Hail, Michael Whitehead. Michael, should we all sing happy birthday to Michael in our trademarked pop culture breakdown, completely out of sync and out of tune manner? I think we should.
Does he really deserve that?
In a way, it's as horrific as anything in Reanimator. So,
Yes.
happy birthday, Michael. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Happy
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday, dear
Michael Whitehead.
Happy birthday
to
you.
Happy to you.
There you
Birthday.
go.
And
Happy
many more.
birthday.
You.
57 years old. We maybe took another year off his life with that, but that's all right. It's all among friends. Did you check out Junji Ito? I know you tabbed him on Friday. If Lovecraft was Japanese on steroids, you get the works of Junji Ito, who takes cosmic eldritch horror to a different level. No, I have not. Michael Whitehead is still tabbed, but these things move slowly. But thank you for reminding me, my friend. I do indeed want to check that out. It sounds intriguing. Sounds like actually really horrific is kind of what it sounds like to me, my friend. But I really appreciate you. Thank you for reminding me of that, because I had it had slipped my mind. I will go and investigate that. I promise you. And let's see. Saul Schimek with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Saul. Says recommendation Wesen by Free League. Horror set in Scandinavia at the very start of the Industrial Revolution. Old and new ways clash, and the old ways do not like being sidelined. A good setting. Thank you, Saul. Saul Schimek is another one of these people dedicated to unearthing perhaps forgotten and obscure bits of pop culture or new things that need to be publicized. Well done, Saul Schimek. Thank you, sir. That is, of course, Vaesen by Free League. Darksaber Force has been a channel member of mine at Dumentide for 22 months, and he says, follow-up question for last week about Halloween 3. After watching his eyes get shot and burning to death, why did people expect Michael to return? Box office. Because Michael's kind of indestructible that way. I mean, you can't keep a great shape supernatural killer down with some knitting needles and what's a little flaming skull and explosions, etc. Who cares? I don't know, honestly. I agree with Gary. I think having a series of standalone Halloween films would have been fantastic, and Michael could have kind of appeared in them. He could have wandered in and out of them, kind of like the Crypt Keeper and EC classics of the day, that kind of thing. I mean, that would have been a really great way to handle the franchise, and they just fucked it up. It's short-sighted, narrow-minded. It wouldn't have been great. Michael Myers could have just appeared, not even been part of the regular story. He just could have been, like Hitchcock, walking through the scene or something,
Or somebody could have been dressed up as him for Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Little things like that. It would have been kind of cool. You go to the door and Jamie Lee Curtis answers, Laurie, right?
Yeah.
It would have been cool. Scott V with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Scott. Says, hail Doomcock and panel. Live long and prosper. And another good older horror comedy is From Beyond. Yes, by the same people that did Reanimator. He says, I also love Reanimator as well. Great pick for tonight. Well, thank you, Scott. Actually prefer Reanimator to From Beyond. I thought From Beyond was interesting, but it just didn't have the mad, narrative thrust, so to speak, that Reanimator did, in my opinion. Nicholas Horton at Justice for Rebecca Edgerunner has been a Dumentide of mine, a channel member for 56 months. God bless you, Nicholas. He says, hail, DC. I kind of enjoyed that animated Tomb Raider show, and Harvey, just wait till Friday, Squidward. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, Nicholas Horton. And fuck that Tomb Raider shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just not gonna. I'm just tired of this shit. If somebody had said it was handled with great respect and she was a dish and shit, I think it would have been awesome. Mr. Ral with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Mr. Ral. Says, sup, Doomcock. I hope you feel better soon. Good God in heaven, so do I, man. It's just God Almighty. I hate this shit. I think it's allergies. But I've been taking allergy shit all day, just all kinds of stuff. And, at least for the show, it's not like running down my, anyway. But yeah, I feel kind of shitty. Angry Yeti TV has been a channel member for 17 months at the Dumentite level. Thank you, Angry One. And says, as much as we've seen Gary decorate his cell, I'm a little surprised he hasn't tried to sneak out in a box. Or has he? Hail all. We won't talk about that unfortunate episode. It was I would unless you want to say anything, Gary, but
all I'll say is I'm gonna need a bigger box.
That's right. The lack of physical activity has made Gary gain a little weight, and he underestimated the amount of anyway, when your feet are sticking out, it's a bit of a dead giveaway. That's all I especially if, it's funny. He always wondered why I always have beans in every meal. And, well,
found out.
System, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Evan Peterson with a $5 super chat. Again, this is part 8 of Evan's multi-part super chat. I didn't see it till now. Evan Peterson says, this is definitely just a sit back and enjoy type of film. Let's just laugh and drool at the greatness of this movie. Damn it. This movie is fucking great. The only thing that pissed me off about this movie was them reusing the soundtrack to Psycho. Literally ripped off Psycho, but we'll get to that. Mr. Eagle Flying with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Mr. Eagle Flying says, money for Allegra D or Tullamore Dew, whatever clears your sinuses, sir. Thank you, Mr. Eagle Flying. I need to go get some of that. That's the one thing I had some of that Flonase stuff, but then I noticed that it was like expired in 2021. So, oops. Oh, well. Dark Saber Force with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Dark Saber Force. Says, movies we love recommendations. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Excellent. Return of the Living Dead. I really want to do that. And 1974's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a fucked up movie, Dark Saber Force. No lie. It really, it's a fucked up movie. You got to give it to Toby Hooper. He really did a kind of a shocker back in 1974. Very admirable effort there. Trevin Lane with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Trevin Lane. Says, hail DC chat and panel. I have heard that Disney is introducing a new super special pass to try and squeeze more blubber from the whales. Well, I did. I think, did I do a video about this? Or did I read about it? Or am I writing about it now? See, I'm just like confused. Yeah, I think I did. They did like a article in Business Insider where it was a family of like 6 or 7 compared directly going to Universal versus going to Disneyland, and found that Universal was better and cheaper, and that they could do every single attraction with a few hours to spare at Universal, breezing through the lines with their fast pass, whereas they could only do like 3 attractions at Disney. and pay more for the
That's been my
privilege.
experience, because Universal closes at like, I think 6 or something like that, and on most days. And we started in the morning at the crack of dawn. We were really like winding down between 3 and 5. We didn't do everything, but we did. But I think depending on your age group, if you got young kids, you can do all the young kid stuff. And you're older, you can do the older stuff. It's amazing the way that.
Yeah, so I mean that seems to be the consensus, and I think Robert has a little bit of a story to tell us about how Universal is bringing it even earlier than anticipated this next summer, but we'll get to that in a sec. Big Daddy MRI with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Big Daddy. Says, feel better soon, Doomcock. Sorry you are not feeling well. Here's some wampum for any over-the-counter medicine to feel better, brother. Chicken soup and rest. Take care and hail, good sir. Thank you, Big Daddy MRI. I appreciate it, brother. You're really kind. All my wrenches take good care of me, especially Sandra Feliciano. She worries about me. She mothers me. Trevin Lane with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Trevin. Says, I have also heard that the promotional statue for Assassin's Creed DEI Samurai with the half gate is being withdrawn in favor of something in better taste. Not good taste, but better taste, of course. Interesting, Trevin Lane. I have not heard anything more along the line of Assassin's Creed Shadows or DEI Samurai, as you call it. I think that's pretty good name, actually. But I know that they're in a world of shit and they're sweating bullets, because if Assassin's Creed Shadows fails like Star Wars Outlaws has failed, Ubisoft is, like in serious trouble. And the more of these companies that suffer the consequences of their actions, the better for us, like the DA was saying earlier. Wayu Hatan with 2 $5 super chats. Thank you very much, Wayu Hatan. Says, fun fact, daylight savings time was invented during World War I to try and save on coal for the war. Well, we're not using coal for war efforts at this point, so maybe we could cut the shit out, maybe? Could we? And Wayu Hatan also with a $5 super chat says, trans clones have been a thing since the books and comics, in the books and comics since at least 2020. How come everyone is just noticing it now? Because it's being rubbed in our face, Wayu Hatan. Because we're tired of everywhere we look, rainbow flags and trans everywhere. I mean, it's just that is not the reality of the world. And you know, it's just like, why does it have to be every fucking place that we look, you know?
Yeah, you know, another thing is the trans flag is a construct of our world. We're not talking about a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Right.
You know,
so it's really just heavy-handed and
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's insulting.
Yeah.
It's insulting. You know, they should have come up with something else, some other kind of symbol or something, you know, that fits into science fictional context, but they don't care. They don't care about canon. They don't care about authenticity. They just want to go ahead and hammer home the same fucking message over and over and over again. And we're just so fucking sick of it. Just fucking, how about you just focus instead of like shoving rainbows in our faces 24 hours a day, and maybe just once a week, you could give us a good story. How would that be? You think about that, maybe? Maybe that would help you a little bit with your profits and also your message, because, you know, a spoonful of sugar makes the damn medicine go down better. Gene Roddenberry fucking knew that with Star Trek. You know, he was putting all sorts of messaging in there, and we loved it, and we still love it because it was entertaining. This crap is just like going to a goddamn, you know, gender studies class we're auditing in college or some shit.
Yeah, it's like going to a TED Talks, or I don't know what the hell this is. It's like we need to preach to you and sermonize to you about gender, you know, and transgender and this and that. It's like, I don't care about that. I came to Star Wars to be entertained. I'm not entertained right now. Can you entertain me? Well, we have this important message that we have to preach to you in regards to transgenderism. Don't you understand how important this is? I don't understand how important this is. I'm here for Star Wars, damn it. I want Star Wars, not your crap, not your message, not your agenda, all right? Not your propaganda. Give me Star Wars or fuck off. That's what I've been telling these assholes for the last 2 years, and they don't listen. Okay, fine. Burn it to the ground. Burn Lucasfilm down to the ground, all right? Because we ain't going to get anywhere until we burn this crap down, because it's gone off the damn rails. So, let's get acceleration. Come on, everybody, get with me. Accelerate this crap into the ground so we can rebuild from the ashes. That's the mission. That's the mission that I'm on right now.
You got to make sure if it burns to the ashes before they start to rebuild it, they don't rebuild it the wrong way, but just pushing the same message and forgetting about escapism and forgetting about storytelling, and then they just market only that.
That is true. Evan Peterson with a $5 super chat, who forgot to say something in those string of amazing super chats. Thank you, Evan. I think you're a producer on tonight's Pop Culture Breakdown, excuse me. Evan Peterson says, I forgot to say, the intestine jumping out at the end reminds me of Harvey, just better looking. Ha ha. Same author. Fuck you, Evan. Fuck you, man. You're on my shit list forever, dude. Forever. You can never get off of it, dude. Tony Cicchini with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Tony. He says, hail all. Today is my birthday. 51 years young. Oh, well, we're not going to sing it again. We're not going to inflict that on you, Tony, again. So consider that song also for you, brother. But he says, it is awesome to spend my special day with all of you tonight. Thanks, Doomcock, for all that you do. Well, thank you, Tony Cicchini. And everybody, please put a TC in the chat to honor our brother, Tony Cicchini, who is 51 years old today and spending it here on Pop Culture Breakdown. Tony, God bless you, my friend. Let's hope you get 51 more. And I hope that you enjoyed your special day, my friend. God bless you. Happy birthday. 51. It was a very good year. Michael Beacom with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Michael Beacom says, saw Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. A must-see for Reeve fans with very personal videos, but you'll need a big box of Kleenex and a generous supply of liquor afterward. Features Robin Williams. Yeah, have any of you guys seen that? I've heard that it's really great, and
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah, he really is. He is the Superman. You know, he will always be my Superman.
Me too. Want to see that?
God bless him. God bless Christopher Reeve. What a horrible thing happened to that poor man, and God bless him. That's really, really sad.
We should watch his last movie in honor of him, which was Village of the Damned, and he played the lead character. And believe it or not, Mark Hamill was in it.
Wow. All right. Well, that's fair. Well, let's go ahead now and get to some of these reviews that we've been told about. Gary, you said you saw Saturday Night.
Yes.
What did you think about this one?
It was fucking great.
Really?
I really, really enjoyed it. Yes. It's directed by Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman's son.
Wow.
It's written by Jason Reitman and Gil Keenan, who are the producing team behind the new Ghostbusters movies and the directors of both those movies. The performances are great. The cast is amazing. They play the original Not Ready for Primetime players. It's a fast-paced movie. It's a great idea. It's pretty much the real-time, very last 90 minutes right before the very first episode of Saturday Night Live aired in 1975.
Oh, wow.
And it is man, the pace and the performances are great. The acting's tremendous. J.K. Simmons plays Milton Berle. He's really funny in it. There's a couple cameos. It's great, man. It's a really, really good movie. I had no idea why Saturday Night Live was coming out the way it did. There was a whole push for there's kind of a political reason for why it was happening. And I won't spoil it just in case you guys don't know, because I didn't know. But it was great. I really, really enjoyed it. I may go see it another time, a second time.
God.
But man, it was fast paced. I mean, it really, you really have to keep up in this movie. I haven't quite seen a movie like this before.
Really?
Very unique. Yeah, very unique in its style of storytelling. The subject matter is obviously just, something that I've loved since I was younger. Back when Saturday Night Live was an actual, terrific, amazing, original, groundbreaking show. The guy that plays Lorne Michaels is really good. The entire cast, they nailed their characters.
No shit.
That dude's playing Chevy Chase. Guy's playing Dan Aykroyd. gals are playing Jane Curtin, Lorraine Newman. Who's the other one that was married to
Gilda Radner?
Okay, Gilda Radner. Man, really top notch. Garrett Morris, that actor's great. They're fantastic. So I go see it, guys. I don't know about its release. I don't know if it's like a wide release. I'm not sure. It was kind of hard for me to find it in my hometown, but it was it was great. You will not be let down. You will enjoy it.
Were they able to come up with some kind of like narrative structure that, like, you know, carried it as a standalone movie?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Really?
definitely. And it's real time 90 minutes. The movie's 90 minutes long. It's real time, that 90 minutes.
Damn, it sounds I mean, I hadn't even heard of this until you like mentioned it, that you had seen it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's actors in the movie, they're popping up and they're playing characters that I didn't even know were on the stage that day, that didn't perform.
Oh wow.
People that we know, like very famous comedians that were ready to go in the wings and weren't able to get on the show.
Oh my god.
But I mean, just it's total chaos. It's total chaos. It's like you're watching the movie, you're like, oh my God, this is so stressful. But I mean, I was just dying laughing at some of the, you know, there's scenes where they're rehearsing, they're doing like the dress rehearsal before the live show. And they're just going through some of the skits, and they were so funny. So funny.
God.
Very talented group of young cast that are playing the original cast of Saturday Night Live. And man, I really, you guys will love it. Go check it out. I recommend everybody on the panel go check it out. Everybody out there in TV land, you check it out too, because it was really good.
Damn, has anyone else seen it? I hadn't heard anything about it.
I'd not heard of it.
Yeah,
I heard of it.
I didn't see it yet though.
Apparently, Dan Aykroyd had a blurb about it. He said he saw it, and he said that he really liked it, and a lot of it's 100% factual. So.
Really? So you've heard? I haven't heard, and I was going to ask Gary. I mean, how accurate do you think it was, more or less?
I don't know. I can't speak to that, but I'm imagining it was pretty accurate. I know that they have to craft some incidents, maybe in something into some sort of, like you're saying, narrative, but I'm sure that everything in the story is factual. It may not have happened in that 90 minutes before the show, but maybe some stuff was put in there just to help tell the story.
I'll add this. Lord Michael himself in an interview said that they did a really good job. They said there's a few things they didn't include that there's no way they would have known, but Lord Michaels himself said that they did a really good job.
Wow.
Nice.
So I'm going to go see it, because Gary hates everything. So I got to go see this now.
Yeah, I know. He really does.
I don't hate you, Mike, especially with that wig on.
Yeah.
I'm not hating that at all, buddy.
Yeah.
Is that you texting me from the ghost phone?
Uh-oh.
I did.
Uh-oh. Don't let us see any pics that were sent, please. We don't want to.
Yeah, those are for
know.
your eyes
he's
only.
probably going to
Mike,
need a
please.
bigger box to get out of the Xanadu area. Oh, yeah.
For your eyes only, says Sheena Easton. Yep, that's right. So, Doug, what can you tell us about? Has Agatha concluded? I understand there was some, like all the dorks and weirdos were like all excited about, who was the father of, Goth Boy or mother of Goth Boy, or who gives a shit? What did you think of Agatha? How's it going, Doug?
Well, if you've seen one episode, you've seen them all. They go down the road and they go into a house. Well, they went down there. This time they made broomsticks. Well, actually, they just pulled some branches down from trees and they flew on those. But apparently that was against the rules, and the road pulled them back down, and they got chased by some woman in black who spits swarms of bees at you. So they went into the next haunted house, and then Agatha had to get possessed by her dead mother. Then one of the other witches decided to save Agatha using her powers. But of course, if you use your witch powers on Agatha, she's able to absorb your power, which she did, seemingly killing one of the other witches. So Goth Boy is really mad at her now too, and they all turn on her and toss her into some quicksand, and she sunk. Then Golf Boy got mad at the other two witches and threw them in too. Not exactly sure why, but anyway, he's starting to show his Wiccan crown because surprise, he's Wanda's son. Surprise.
Wow. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, now that makes me just want to watch the whole thing, Doug.
Oh boy. Well,
I'm starting it tonight.
The best part
Oh, yeah.
about it is it's very short. They're very short episodes. So
Yeah.
kind of easy.
Mostly credits and whatnot.
Yeah, the majority of the show is credits, which I appreciate. Thanks. Yeah.
Swell.
So, yeah, if you actually want to watch a good show, check out Penguin and Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois continues to be a cute little show and quite the anomaly considering it's the last of the CW DC shows.
Right.
How did this happen? And but unfortunately, this is the end for it. But it's first 2 episodes really good.
Yeah, I mean, how many of you guys watched the Superman and Lois show on CW? Because I watched it, and I think that Superman is excellent.
Yeah,
I saw the first season.
Anyone else really?
Saw the first episode or 2.
I saw the first season. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I was surprised, I mean, they didn't like shit all over, Clark Kent or Superman. And,
no.
The kids were not like just, mind blowingly like obnoxious or, woke or shit. And, the MILF mom, the one I'm talking about, the one that's like the mom to the girlfriend of, one of the,
well, that's Lana, Superman's first girlfriend.
Yeah, Lana, just like, good Lord, man. How did he pass up that for, Skeletor, aka Loris?
Look,
really
type.
That chick is really skinny. I mean, it's, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, no, the MILF helps. And what about I guess Rings of Power has ended.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, that's the good part. It's over. For now.
Well, thank God for that.
I never even started it.
Oh, they did their own take on the Raylo thing. Only this time it's Galadriel and Sauron. And she tried to change him, but he wouldn't. But you can see, oh, it's so sad.
Spoiler alert!
They could have been so happy together.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Hey, I've got like the gayest shipper name ever now. Sauron and Galadriel would be Sorladriel.
Oh my
God. Get your hashtags ready.
I wonder what that lad's
you want to see it happen.
Oh shit.
Wow, one ring to bind them.
Yeah. Yes, and it were a cock ring, but never mind that right now.
He's gonna need that ring pillow.
Never mind that.
Did anybody else here watch Agatha other than Doug? Was he the only one that watched it?
Well, we started.
No, I'm watching it right now. It's trash, man. It's such a bad series, and the worst part about it is, number one, it doesn't do anything for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just more brand damage for that universe. Like, it's just destroying it. But then that they're coming back with I think a threequel. This is supposed to be Agatha or WandaVision to Agatha to Vision. I don't know where they go with this. Like, I don't know why this show was even made. So I think that's the worst part about it, is that we're going to get more of this. And it's like, like, why are we doing this, Marvel? You guys had such a good thing going, and now you're just absolutely tanking your brand at this point. I don't know where Marvel goes from this point. I know that Captain America is going to be trash. The reviews of the early, test screenings have been terrible for that. Marvel is just amazingly like it's just going down the drain. It's just like literally watching shit go down a toilet. It's like you're just looking at it like, damn, this is so bad for Marvel at this point. Agatha is one of the worst shows I've ever watched, and I don't understand why they made this other than to give Jack Schaefer, I guess, another, DEI project, even though she's a woman, but yeah, still DEI. She's just been handed a character, and nobody cared about this character. Nobody knows what to do with this character. So she's just going and playing like, okay, let's have a slumber party. I think the last one was like a slumber party. And then she had karaoke night, and then she had a wine mom party. Like, what are we doing, Marvel? What's going on here? This is what we've got. We went from Thanos and Infinity War and Endgame to wine mom parties and slumber parties. And look, there's an episode playing right now. I don't know what it is. I haven't watched it yet, but I will be watching that, and I will be streaming once it's done. I have no idea what it's going to be, but it's going to be garbage. I can tell you that. So, we'll be. It's really funny, man. It's just hilarious how bad this show is.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated it with a red hot passion. It made me very angry. There was literally nobody to like on this show. Agatha is one of the most obnoxious fucking characters I've ever seen. Everything out of her mouth is sarcastic. Everything out of everyone's mouth is sarcastic bile. It's not witchcraft, it's bitchcraft. That's what it is. And I'm contract to their fucking bitching. So
look at this. Contrast this with a good villain like Penguin and how they're building that out. I mean, it's such a major contrast, the great acting that's going on over there versus what we're getting in Agatha. It's like night and day, man. It's so crazy how we're seeing Marvel completely, like fall apart, and DC seems to be picking up the slack until we get to Joker. Never mind that, but DC seems to be picking up the slack and doing the job that we all expect Marvel to do. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, Penguin. Right.
The writers. I mean, the writers for Penguin have written an actual interesting story. This Agatha stuff is just a bunch of crap, and we get that stupid freaking song every damn episode. I mean, my God, I'm so glad DC said no, we're not watching any more of it. So I had to hear that stupid song one more time. I was gonna puke.
It's garbage. It's garbage.
Yes. Wait a minute, we don't have to watch it.
No, Doug, we didn't.
Did you not get the memo, Doug?
No.
I mean, this is what happens when you miss meetings, buddy. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Well, we all
darn! Mexican Iron Man forgot to hit send on the email to Doug. Oh no!
Oh, that son of a bitch!
Can you imagine that Mexican Iron Man would deliberately forget to forward that to Doug?
I can't imagine. I mean,
wow!
You can see the mailbox from the window, right? I'm sure.
It's almost like.
Well,
you guys were doing good. We made it an hour.
Oh, we almost did it.
36
minutes.
We almost did it. Now,
at least
Nick,
we all watched Rings of Power, right?
Well,
sure.
Well,
nope.
There may have been another email. I didn't say it.
We kind of saw where it was going.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I can't believe you guys don't like that. I can't believe you guys don't like that song going down on the Witch's Minge. It's top 40 right there. I mean,
yeah. No, we didn't. Yeah. What was that you said, Jill?
I only made it past 2 episodes of season 1. I got tired of them telling me the reason why rocks sink.
Yeah, the whole singing rocks thing, and and I've seen the Balrog, been there, done that, and it's just fuck this. Really, I don't know anybody that gives a shit about this. Rings of Power crap. It's not even fun to hate anymore. It's
not even trending on YouTube videos.
No, man.
Yeah.
It's just almost like a Cliff Notes for a less interesting version of Lord of the Rings, like Cliff Notes to the Reader's Digest version of the Silmarillion. Yeah.
They don't even have the rights to that.
Yeah, they don't even have the rights to that, really. They
keep trying to have the advertising here in Japan, and nobody's watching it. In fact, everyone's like, "Why is this still showing? No one cares."
Yeah, nobody gives a shit. But Nick, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about your video on the whole Captain America 4
Brave New World
debacle. Yeah, I've gotten some information about it, but it's contradictory to what is in that spoiler thing. So I'm trying to assess with my spies, like what I should believe. But you go ahead and go over what you've heard, man.
Yeah, so this comes from World of Real on Twitter, who apparently knows a lot of people in the industry or is in it. Nobody really knows for sure. But apparently, according to him, that there was 2 different cuts of the film test screen last week, and the plot details for one of the cuts was leaked online. The person who attended didn't seem to like the movie all that much, and based on the folks that he had spoken to, those who attended were either given a red or green bracelet and were split into 2 different theaters. And the reactions that he heard were not very kind to the movie at all, which was described to him as inessential and flat, basically.
Wow.
And a little bit of the story, the plot that had leaked on one of the screeners that they did was, and there's a bunch out there. If you guys go out on Google, you can find the whole thing. But just some of the highlights of it is Ross, who's played by Harrison Ford this time around, because of course William Hurt passed away, and Sam meet up, and Ross basically tells him that he wants him to lead the Avengers. You know, Falcon is going to lead the Avengers, this new Captain America. And then, you know, Sam says, what if we don't see eye to eye? And Ross replies, then we will figure that out together. You know, so kind of a callback to the whole Civil War thing and some of the stupid stuff. So apparently high blood pressure causes Ross, Harrison Ford's character, to Hulk out, and he has to eat lollipops as a form of medication.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then Sam, with only a vibranium cap shield and wings, withhold multiple heavy hits from the Red Hulk that would absolutely destroy his body, considering his suit was not vibranium, and Sam still ain't got no super soldier serum. He'd be broken, bloody, pulp after and they don't call him the Hulk, they call him Rolk. RULK.
Right.
Full force punches hit him multiple times and not even, you know, a cracked rib on Sam. But a lot of people are saying it feels like it's just repeating plot points from both Winter Soldier, Civil War, making the entire story way too safe, predictable, and by the numbers. They said the whole thing plays out and feels very much like something that belongs on Disney Plus. And the Rolk Cap fight was teased the entire movie, apparently, only for it to last about 5 minutes. So you know, again, from what's being told by this guy on Twitter, World of Real, there are 2 different cuts of the film. They're trying to figure out what people liked, didn't like, but apparently nobody liked either version of the film. So they're probably scrambling, trying to piece parts of both different versions together before they do the final release on it. But it doesn't matter what they do. This thing is dead on arrival and is going to flop so hard. Nobody's interested. Steve Rogers is Captain America, not the Falcon. And I appreciated the Falcon and Sam's character in Falcon and Winter Soldier show when he turned down the Captain America, you know, taking up the mantle for Cap. I respected him as a character and was like, good, you are Falcon. And I appreciate that. And I like this character even more now. And then the other blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy in there who's trying to be the new Captain America, I was trashing on him the whole show, saying that's not Captain America. Steve Rogers is Captain America. So nobody can bring race into this crap because Steve Rogers is Captain America. And I hated the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy in there as well. But Falcon is not Captain America. This movie is DOA.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised because I've been covering the troubled history of the development of this movie for a long time. And I mean, you know, when they are going in reshoots after reshoots, when they are shooting shit with a list of just battle shots that they want to get with no fucking script, for the longest time, they didn't even have a fucking script for this is like the remake. I mean, the shit that they're test screening are like the remakes of the original one that they scrapped. I mean, this thing is a fucking disaster. Oh God, I'm so fucking surprised that a movie that's a patchwork Frankensteinian quilt of mix and match bullshit swaths of material rather than a coherent script doesn't hang together and doesn't like amount to a squirt of piss. You cannot simply cut and paste bullshit and random scenes that you've scrapbooked, shooting like 3 different like mix and match versions of a scene, and then you just kind of swap them in editing. The actors don't have any sense of where their characters are going or where the narrative is going. Nobody does, because there is no direction. They figure they'll fix it in fucking post. Well, it's going to be disjointed. It's a disrespect to the craft of screenwriting. I mean, these fuckheads, basically, this is kind of like almost like training for the future. Where they're just going to have AI just come up with cool scenes to fucking shoot and then piece together later. You have to craft and build a story. Otherwise, you've got nothing. And that's what these dumb fucks have right now, is nothing. They have not a goddamn thing to show for all of this effort and money, because you cannot have a goddamn movie succeed when it has no soul. And when I mean soul, I mean a creative vision of a writer, a storyteller. You have to have a fucking story. If you don't have a story, you got nothing.
Consider they just shoved Giancarlo Esposito into this thing to try to get some, like, I guess, I don't know, brownie points for putting a major league actor into this thing. Yeah. They just shoved him into this crap. All right. They just threw him in here because they knew that this thing was failing. They knew that this thing was dying on the vine. So they had to get something going. So, okay, let's get old Gustavo Fring and let's just toss him into the movie and let's hope for the best. That's where they are with this thing. This is going to be a giant disaster. All right. This is going to be one of the biggest things, one of the biggest disasters, because they've shot this movie twice. All right. Blake, what's his name?
More.
Yeah, like Tim Blake Nelson said, we have shot this movie 2 times. All right. We have shot this movie twice and it still sucks. All right. It's still garbage. So how bad is this thing going to be? And they're trying to drop. This is the thing that pisses me off. They're trying to drop it in Black History Month. Yeah. They're trying to drop this in Black History Month in February to see if we could get some black people to show up to this thing. We ain't showing up. All right. Yeah. I'm going to tell y'all right now, we ain't coming to watch this crap because it feels inauthentic. It feels like a cash grab. All right. It feels like you're trying to do the whole Black Panther thing all over again. This is going to absolutely fail. I'm telling you right now that I don't know how much this budget is after shooting this thing a second time, or what, $350 million maybe. They are going to absolutely lose their ass.
They're in deep shit. Mike, were you going to say something? It looked like you were.
I was going to say, Derek, my brother. That was an incredibly astute observation that that they're looking for the Black Panther Black History Month effect.
That's what they're doing.
Like Assassin's Creed Shadows that's releasing in February now.
They moved that too.
That shows the profound level of absolute Hippocratic racism that this company is walking into the entertainment street with. You know, that is so freaking disrespectful and lame, because Black Panther was a unique situation that had nothing to do with race per se. It did, but it didn't. And wow, if they think they're gonna pull this off, man,
that's all they got, Mike. That's all they got.
Oh man, that is just,
they know it's a disaster already, so they're like, let's put it in February. Maybe we'll
know what the budget is so far they've spent on this thing.
I think it's because, look, there was already like one round of things, and then there was a second round, and out of that second round, I think they've got 2 cuts. So really, there's 3 versions, and
well, they've got multiple.
The amount of money must be incredible,
right? But if they got multiple versions right now, that means they're in that situation where they're not playing to win. They're playing like a game where they're like, they're so in fear that they're afraid that they're playing not to lose, and they don't know what to do. They're just playing, and you can't win that way. You know, it's like you said, only the integrity of the creative soul is what wins the day. And without any integrity in that creative soul of what you're offering, it's like Derek says, which I think is an incredibly astute point. black folk ain't gonna show up for this just because it happens to have a black guy in it and Black History Month. Man,
I have a
It's
theory.
insulting,
You
bro.
guys
It's
are also
insulting.
forgetting. You guys are also forgetting another reason why they're releasing it during Black History Month. Because if it fails, they can use the racism card on why it didn't do well. No one saw it because they're racist. No one saw it because they don't want to see a black man as the lead. They're going to use that as the excuse.
Yep.
It's just totally false. And here's the other aspect of this. So part of the reason why Marvel was so successful up until the end game was because they planned it out. They carefully planned every movie and how they were going to relate it to the Avenger movies and how they were going to draw Thanos as the big villain for all the different series. They planned it out in different phases. They worked together on it. You had different directors, different characters, different ideas, but they all were moving towards one big story, and they had a perfectly good plot, big picture story with small picture stories. They're not doing that with all this. They're doing all this other crap where they're trying to throw all kinds of DEI BS in our face and, shove social political nonsense down our throat instead of telling us a good, solid superhero story. It's a bunch of bull crap, and that's why we don't want to see it. It has nothing to do with the race of the lead actor. It has to do with the story.
Yeah, it's not about the story or the characters. It's about the message they got to put out there. And the thing is, you could take this Captain America movie and replace Cap with the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy from Falcon Winter Soldier's Captain America, and it would still suck. All of us were screaming and saying the same thing about the Acolyte. You could replace the whole cast with white guys and white girls, and it would still suck, and we would still hate it. Race has zero to do with it, but that's the only place they got to go with their argument because they cannot admit failure, and they are failing on multiple levels in all these different IPs.
Okay, here's the problem you have with this. Captain America has been replaced multiple times. The first one was a retcon that they did back in the 70s because Captain America was discontinued in 1945. America was tired of the war. They didn't want to be reminded of the war. Captain America was a wartime hero. Sales dropped. They canceled the book. They brought him back in 1950 for Captain America Commie Smasher, which should have been canon because communists were our enemies. They were but then you had the whole McCarthy thing, which turns out he was right on everyone he accused that being a communist was in fact on the KGB payroll. But they had to retcon that because of how Hollywood and all the artists didn't like it. So they made this other guy who plastic surgery, changed his name to Steve Rogers, and he was the Captain America of the 1950s. And they brought him back in the 1970s with Sal Buscema and Roger Stern writing this great story arc. Then they replaced him with John Walker in the 90s when the government decided, hey, you were going to work for us. They came along. Brubaker came along with a great storyline with Captain America, brought back Bucky, which Bucky had stayed dead since 1965 until 2005. One of the stalwarts that you weren't allowed to bring back. He managed to do it in a way that made sense, and everybody loved it. Bucky took over as Captain America during the end of World War II. When Captain America disappeared, you had the guy that was Spirit of 76 took over as Captain America. He died in the first mission. Then you had the guy who was the Patriot. He took over as Captain America. But it always came back to Steve Rogers because Steve Rogers was Captain America. Now, the funny thing about this is that when you refer to William Naslund, no one says, oh, no, he has to be Captain America. He was Spirit of 76. You say Jeff Mace, that wasn't Captain America. That was the Patriot filling in for Captain America. You see Bucky Barnes. Who's that? Oh, you don't have to refer to him as Captain America. That's Bucky. Okay. Sam Wilson now is not allowed to be demoted, despite the fact that this has been a comic book trope over and over again. You did it with Bruce Wayne, like had John Paul Valley take over as Batman for a while and so forth. But it always goes back to the original characters. That's what's popular. It's a little thing that bumps up your sales in comic books, but then you always go back to it. We're in a unique situation now because all these people, they know that the woke doesn't sell, but they're in a tough position because they can't backpedal on it because all of their friends won't go to the tea parties with them and won't invite them out to lunch and things like that if they don't find a way to maintain these elements to it. It's they're backing off of the woke in name only. And when you say woke, it's not, it's because it's done for show. It's not done for real purpose or real reason. It's just done for virtue signaling. And now they've really screwed themselves because Sam Wilson will never be able to go back to being the Falcon. They even make a new Falcon, so he can't go back to being the Falcon. What are they going to do when they reboot this thing in a couple years? Because that's what's going to happen. We know Secret Wars is coming. You know you're going to have to mix everything up, get younger actors, put them in here. How are you going to do this without somebody out there screaming and accusing Disney of like being racist because, oh, Captain America's a white man again? You demoted Sam Wilson. Like, no, Sam Wilson was always the Falcon. And back in 1981, there's an issue of the Avengers where the government steps in, says there's too many Avengers. We want them down to 7. And because Black Panther's not available, we need a minority in there, and you have to put Falcon in there. So Steve Rogers goes to his friend Sam and says, look, please take this. We can't function. We need your help here. And he turns around and says to him, I guess I should just change my name to the Token. Damn it, Steve, I earned my reputation as a hero. I don't need to be just some kind of like tacked on here for appearances. And they had the story right back in 1981. And here we are, and they're trashing this thing. They had a million ways they could have gone, a million stories they could have told. But now they're so deep in the weeds, the best thing they could do is scrap this stuff, stop the production of everything. Nothing is going to succeed. Their attempts at Fantastic Four aren't going to work because they're not genuine. You got the Russo brothers doing Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Really, that's not going to put people want to see Downey as Iron Man, and that's it. They loved him in that role. You can't just take this guy and like, oh, look, now he's Dr. Doom. That's not going to work. You got the Thunderbolts. What's to be excited about that? Is anybody looking to see these things? If you had a core tentpole of same thing with Star Wars, if you had a core storyline that was going really strong, Marvel Comics understood this. They had their Spider-Man sales and X-Men sales and all that, which supported all of the other books that didn't sell as well. If you had a good, solid core, you could have a successful TV shows, even garbage like Agatha or something like that. You can have a supernatural branch, a street level branch, a cosmic branch, all these things, but they don't have the core. And I don't believe that Hollywood has the creativity or the talent anymore to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Andy. So we've got a few other stories real quick that we want to get to. Gary, go ahead and tell us a little bit, some good news. You discovered that something we all love is coming back.
Yes. So according to the official Heavy Metal Magazine X account, they have announced that the magazine is officially coming back in full force. The magazine cover looked fantastic. It was kind of a little homage to the movie, which was pretty cool. And they have a Discord account where they're starting to leak out some information, starting to tease some stuff out. So if you guys are interested in heavy metal, check out their X account. It shouldn't be hard to find, but it looks pretty good. It looks like they're talking about how they're going to return to form with the way the original magazine was. I'm sure they got some great artists lined up, and hopefully they got some great stories. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, I am too. I think that's a great thing, man. We really need more interesting shit like that, because that stuff was cutting edge.
It was, and the nice thing is it's not like they're just rehashing some old IP. Heavy metal is an IP, but the stories contained within were very original.
Right.
Extremely original.
Yeah, it looks good.
And now, Robert, why don't we go ahead real fast? And then Anti-Derivative Jill has a comment she wants to make about it too. But apparently, Universal is bringing it to Disney even earlier than anticipated. They're going to go ahead and open some of their new theme park stuff. And lo and behold, Disney should be shaking to its boots. What's all that about?
Yeah, basically, they're going to open up this new Universal park. They're shooting for Memorial Day, at least for this new Harry Potter ride. And the big news about it is a brand new Harry Potter ride. Harry Potter's still a popular IP, and it transcends generations. And so they're anticipating that opening it up early will get the jump on the summer season and the summer holiday season, and really just blow the doors off of Walt Disney World, which doesn't really have any new rides, doesn't have a popular IP with kids, whereas Harry Potter is popular with kids and adults who grew up with the books, So Universal's going to kick Disney's butt. And when the rest of this Universal universe opens up, man, is it going to be awesome.
It is really going to be awesome. And, Disney isn't like putting up any new rides. What they're doing is tearing down the classic old rides, which is not endearing them to, fans of the aforementioned Disney theme parks. Jill, you had something you wanted to say about all this.
I did. It's just a matter of fact that my family, we're just more inclined to enjoy Universal Studios over Disney. As you said, the price difference definitely makes a big difference on where we decide where to go, but also it's more fun. I'm already a Harry Potter fan, and I'm excited to try the new Battle of the Department of Mysteries ride, which is from the Order of the Phoenix movie, which I think is one of the best Harry Potter movies, directed by David Yates. So if they can capture a quarter of the magic of what they did with the Ministry for Magic sets, I have a good time. But and they're also doing Fantastic Beasts stuff, but I'm not as big a fan of that because they fired Johnny Depp and they messed all that crap up. But anyway, it's not just my fandom. The kids will prefer it too. It's not just the Harry Potter rides. At the new park that they're building, they're also including Super Mario World, which I can bet will be awesome because they actually involved Shigeru Miyamoto to directly provide input in creating all of the attractions they're adding, because that's one of the things that Universal does is they bring in the actual creators of the IPs that they're building so that it actually reflects what fans expect. J.K. Rowling made sure that the set director from the movies helped with the set building. And yeah, definitely. I'm going next summer and I'm getting fast passes. It's a lot better than spending $200 on cake.
Yeah, absolutely. Which leads us to our last story before we go to some super chats here. I want to go ahead and share this with you folks. Fox Business published an article titled "Disney Fans Blast Obscene Prices at New Cake Shop, Shockingly Offensive," says the headline. And the basics of this are: a new cake shop located at Disney's Florida theme park is opening this fall. It is being criticized for its high prices, with fans calling the cost of some food items obscene and offensive. The Cake Bake Shop by Gwendolyn Rogers on the boardwalk at Disney World in Orlando is set to open on a not yet disclosed date later this year, after replacing the ESPN Club, etc., and so on. Disney fans are criticizing the shop's menu prices ahead of its opening. These prices are obscene, said one person on Reddit. The menu is posted outside the bakery, which is not owned by Disney, by the way, showing prices that include a slice of cake starting at $22 for a slice of cake. The cake offerings will include Gwendolyn's famous Earl's Court chocolate cake at $26 a slice, wow. Oprah's O-List mint chocolate cake at $24 a slice, and pumpkin spice cinnamon roll cake for a bargain basement $22 a slice. That's the price of an entire cake at Amorette's in Disney Springs. Another Reddit user said of the price of cake slices. Another user added, $8 for a Coke is shockingly offensive even for Disney World. Prices are out of control. Keeping in mind that this is not a Disney-owned or operated restaurant. This is an independent owner charging $32 for a hamburger. Good grief, one person said in a Google review. And Marie Antoinette commented, "Let them eat cake," which I think was very cruel and hurtful, even for a dead tyrant like that. The DA, what do you have to say about this?
Wow, I was blown away when I saw the prices for these cakes, because I was like, okay, you talking about $22 for a slice of cake. That is absolutely insane. I can't believe you could, again, buy an entire cake for the price of one slice of this cake that's going to be on Disney. And look, I don't care if it's not owned by Disney, if it's not operated by Disney, it's there. All right. Disney has been pricing the regular, average, everyday American out of their properties, out of their theme parks for a long time now. All right. So at this point in time, listen, I'm an accelerationist. All right. I'm good. All right. Let's price all the regular people out. All right. We don't want regular people, regular, ordinary, average, everyday Americans showing up to Disney because, look, I used to be a Disney annual pass holder. All right. I used to take my kids when I was, a younger man, and when they were little kids, I used to take them to Disneyland all the time, and the price was affordable. But now everything at Disney is just skyrocketed. The prices are way too high. And now it's getting to the point where regular, average, everyday people cannot go. Good. Okay. I don't want you guys to go because Disney is all about indoctrination. All right. You go to Disney, you're going to get a mustached man at the big bibbity boppity boutique trying to sell your girl with a dress and all of that. Look, we don't want any of that. All right, good. The average American can't go to Disneyland anymore because the cake is $22 a slice. Fine. I'm good with that. Thank you, Disney. Price the regular people out and let's go ahead and, it's all for the elites. It's all for the big money makers. All right. Good. Okay. Because guess what? That's going to accelerate this thing. All right. That's going to accelerate this right on down the tubes to the point where nobody's going to Disney anymore. Nobody's rocking with Disney.
Disney
anymore.
Derek, are you there?
Derek?
Internet glitch.
Well, I guess he glitched there.
I can't believe they tried.
Am I gone?
Okay.
Oh,
you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. My bad. I don't know what's up with my internet. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad that Disney is sinking. Look, charge $35 for a slice of cake. Charge $50 for a slice of cake. Price the normal people out because we need normal people to change what's going on over there at Disney like now. It's just price them all out of existence so that way normal people can, hey, this isn't working for us anymore. We're not giving any more money to this. We can't afford it any longer. And pretty soon things will start going back to normal. So yeah, I'm an accelerationist. Accelerate this. Yes, perfect. Good job, Disney. $30 for a slice of cake. Let's go.
All right.
Question.
Rob,
Yeah.
right? Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. So this illustrates the problem with Disney as a whole. Disney is catering to these wealthy elitist folks instead of what their bread and butter was: families and children, kids. Here's the reality, folks. For years, families have saved up a lot of money and a lot of time. Families have spent their life savings just to go to Disney World and take their kids to Disney World for one weekend or 1 week. And they go to have the experience. And then you're raising all these prices. You're having all these fancy stuff that prices them out of the park. No wonder you're losing business. No wonder you're losing people. Disney, you suck. You cater to all these things that people don't want. Your bread and butter was kids. Your bread and butter is families. And you're not catering to them for the last 10, 15 years. Wake the freak up. You're losing. Yep. You're going to lose your company this way. This is just ridiculous. $22 for a slice of cake. I mean, I can understand if this was a standalone store near a ritzy hotel near Disney. That'd be fine. But it's in the park. Come on, Disney. You're better than this.
I can't
no, they're not. You're out of your mind, Rob.
All those executives still get paid millions of dollars, whether the company goes under or not. They don't care.
Yep.
Hey, I can't believe that they're trying to entice people into a cake.
Well said, Rob.
I can't believe they're trying to entice people into a piece of cake calling it Oprah's O.
You get an O, you get an O, and you get an O. Everybody gets an O.
Jesus God, no. Doug, you need to go ahead and head out, my friend. Go ahead and plug whatever you would like to plug, sir.
Yeah, but before I go, just to be fair, you got to understand, you're not just getting a cake, you're getting an experience. What's the dollar value on that, huh? Yeah. So anyway, the podcast is the Mr. Nelson Show on RadioMisfits.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And then, of course, they have my comic book based on the audio plays that are featured in the Mr. Nelson Show. And you can head over to IndiePlanet.com and pick up your copy of Night Night. Now, recently, they had troubles dealing with the hurricane, but the site will indicate when they're ready to go. So they're getting ready to process orders. So it might take some time. But until that's taken care of. But yes, you can go to IndiePlanet.com and check out Night Night and get yourself a copy of those great comic books that I made for you. That's right. Because, you know, I'm that kind of guy. And for all your Nelson needs, head over to the NelsonRatings.locals.com where, well, guess what you'll get there? Nelson stuff. Hey, that's me. Always a pleasure, Doomcock. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Doug.
Don't you want to plug Oprah's O?
Sure. Why not? I mean, hey, it's only $30.
That's right.
That's a cheap date.
Oh, $30 when you put it that way.
You get a loan for the whole cake.
And you get some ass, and you get some ass, and you get some ass. Ka-ching.
Yes.
Holy crap. Wow.
You just think of that picture of Oprah giving the little blonde girl to Harvey Weinstein. It's just, it puts it in a whole new context.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
All right. Well, thank you, Doug. We appreciate you. When we come back, we're going to get into our movie that we love. God bless you, Doug.
Night, Doug.
Let's get to some
Doug.
super chats here.
Okay.
All right, folks. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Here we go. Ian with $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Ian says, yo, are you going to do a video on the Halo Studios? I'm not sure what is going on with Halo. Maybe somebody could shoot me some info on that or cue me in. I've been focused on.
They made their new uniforms really, really bad, and they matched the color of the LGBTQ flag.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Well, I guess I'll look into it. Thank you, Ian, for the tip, man. Yeah, I've been focused on this, whole Ubisoft thing, but I guess I need to peek over at what Halo is doing, or I guess they're changing their name to Rainbow Studios or some shit. Paula Veter Gamer has been a channel member for 54 months at the Dumentite level. Thank you, Paula Veter Gamer. Says Lara Croft has two completely different body types, butch and somewhat female attractive. They're getting more crafty in their wokeness. Yeah, but the problem is that now we're allergic to it. We're all allergic to woke shit, and they can call it bridge. They can call it, whatever the fuck new acronym or label they want to come up with. We know it when we see it, and we break out into hives. We're conditioned now to resist this shit, and they had their chance and they blew it. That's the problem. They had their chance, and their clumsy obsession and their like obnoxious complete blindness to the fact that maybe not everyone thinks like they do, and they're not like metaphysically correct in everything that they do. They've overestimated, they've overreached, and now they blew it, and we're alert to them, and no matter what they do, we're going to be able to see it coming a mile away. So I'm not worried. Trevin Lane with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Trevin Lane. Says the Lara Croft story reminds me. Some guys are suing some male-only fools creators for using AI-generated models to swindle them of money. The losers thought that they were talking to a woman. Well, let me tell you, when you call up a phone sex line, I got some bad news for you. You're not talking to, a 21-year-old Dallas Cowboys
What?
cheerleader, like she
What?
says, you're talking to some 48-year-old mom, looks like Jabba the Hutt sitting on the couch, popping bonbons while she's saying, oh yeah, you make me hot, so hot. I mean, so I don't know. Maybe this will open up a whole new legal avenue for, class action suits or something. I don't know.
My life is a lie.
I mean, I kind of salute these guys for using AI generated models to swindle these idiots of money, but that just seems to me like, hey, what you saw was what you got, right? I mean, I mean, if you were fooled, what are you going to do? I don't know. Thank you, Trevin Lane. I think that's bizarre, but hey, it's a brave new world out there, isn't it, folks? Israel R with a $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Israel R says, hail DC and panel. Tomb Raider for the PS1 was one of the best experiences I had in the 90s because it was a great game with a badass female lead and just fun. Now Tomb Raider is not even a shadow of the true Lara Croft. Yeah, it's a shame, man. But the thing is, those 90 games, they took talent to make. The great movies that we've loved, the great TV shows that we loved, all took talent. And that's something these people do not possess. They do not possess. They're basically trying to use politics and agendas as shields to hide behind in a post-talent world. They don't have the talent anymore. They don't have the discipline. Even if they do have the talent, they don't have the discipline to refine it into anything that is meaningful and can create anything that lasts. So they're taking the shortcut of just, riding on their, gender identities, riding on their race, hiding behind the skirts of the DEI, ESG, MOUSE bullshit to compensate for their supreme lack of ability. And,
they stand on the shoulders of giants, right? They stand on the shoulders of all of these greater creators that knew what they were doing, that had a creative spark inside of them. And they're standing on these guys' shoulders, and they're using their franchises as a sounding board for their ideology. And it's failing on its face. Everybody's falling flat on their face. It's beautiful. I love it. Accelerate. Let's go. More of it. All right. Because we're going to burn these things to the ground, and then we're going to rebuild.
I hear you. Clive Griffiths with a £2 super chat. Thank you. Clive says Lara is the kind of person to shrug off feelings. Yeah, well, they don't. Yeah, well, that's neither here nor there. I guess she'll not be a big hit with the snowflakes, but they're still corrupting her regardless. Israel R has been a channel member for 8 months at the Doomentite level. God bless you, Israel R. Says, hail Doomcock and Xanadoom. Keep up the good fight. Reanimator was for sure a head turner when I saw it. Hi, Harvey. Hashtag Doomcock was right. God bless. Hey, Israel R. Hail to you, sir. Hail to Israel R. Thank you, my friend. I will keep up the good fight. And Reanimator, yes, a head turner, so to speak. Drake Timbershaft with a $2 super chat. Hail to Drake Timbershaft. Says, at least this Lara doesn't have the dread uniboob.
Doesn't have any boobs.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have boobs to have a uniboob. At least there's one, but
right. Yeah.
One is
but
the
biggest
number.
crime. The biggest crime is Haley Atwell is doing the voice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
What happened to the thing where you're only allowed to play like what you are? I mean,
right.
That should have been.
Haley Atwell is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did her like that, man.
But they fucked it up. Michael Whitehead with a £10 super chat. Hail to the birthday boy. God bless you, Michael. He says, remember when men were real men, women were real women, and small furry creatures from Alpha Centauri were real small furry creatures from Alpha Centauri? I know, man. I miss those days, Michael. Geez, I miss those days. And then, you pick up a real small furry creature from Alpha Centauri, and guess what? They're like in drag. These days you just cannot trust anything. You thought you had a rainbow, a fistful of fur, and you got a fistful of a rainbow, and it's just, it's Lola all over again. Lola, Lola.
Purple tribbles.
yeah, gay tribbles. Oh dear. When Captain Kirk sits on it, he stands up and it's gone. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? Where did it go? It's gone, Mrs. Scott. I don't know, Captain. Well, you've got to dig it out. Bones. Hi.
Sulu will find it.
Wow, you
That
want me
gives
to
me
dig
such a
out a
weird
bone,
visual,
Jim?
man.
No, not a bone. I'm saying bones. Bones. You've got to dig out the triple that I sat on, and it disappeared. Well, where'd it go, Jim? Where do you think? The only place it could go, Dr. McCoy. The only place it could go. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Hi, Dragon Stars has been a channel member of mine. Has renewed their channel membership tonight. Thank you, Hi Dragon Star. And Hi Dragon Star with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. This is a very valid point, folks, that he's making. Hi Dragon Star, thank you for the super chat. Says Lego did a study on play. Females usually like to insert themselves into a character. DEI wants women to insert themselves into ugly women. This is true. Like, if females and men were boys and girls basically were given a Batman doll to play with, boys would try to do things with the Batman doll that were in character with Batman, fight crime and stuff. The girls would try to make Batman, cook brownies in the kitchen and have tea parties and stuff with the teddy bears. So that's a very fundamental difference with the way that women and men view the world and interact with the world. Hi Dragon Star adds with another $5 super chat. Males like to play by acting how that person would act, model themselves on the character. So DEI wants males to act like females. That's very telling, Hi Dragon Star. Very telling indeed. Thank you very much for those points, my friend. Susan Dolan has been a channel member for 47 months and says, hail Doomcock and panel, hail wrenches in chat. Hail to you, Susan Dolan. And SFX F314 Sabertooth Raptor with a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, just a reminder, if you had a chance to view my email of the ship designs, thanks. I will take a look at them, brother. I'm so sorry. I'm always behind on everything, but thank you for the reminder. I will go and I will look at them. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you sharing them with me. Drake Timbershaft with a $2 super chat. And Drake Timbershaft says, by the power of they skull. Oh, thank you, Drake Timbershaft. Boy, that's a manly name.
A great name.
Drake Timbershaft. And Retro Meister, another great name with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Retro Meister. Says, hail Doomcock and panel. I just want to say Crystal Dynamics is cancer to Lara Croft, along with Joanna Dark with Perfect Dark Reboot. Lara in Netflix's Tomb Raider is just Cora Croft, in my opinion. Yeah, I haven't seen. I'm not going to watch it, man. I want to see this shit. I'm not even going to review them. What was that?
Nobody likes Mancroft.
No, Mancroft. And we don't want Indiana Jones either. Just stay in your fucking lanes. Is that too much to ask? Good God. General Sod with a £2 super chat. Thank you, General Sod. Says everything is being subverted. The new Cold War. Yeah, except really it's kind of more of a it's kind of a hot war, isn't it? I mean, they really are. They're going full throttle. But I think they've blown it, guys. I think they've blown it. I mean, we talk about, accelerating things. I don't think there's any need. It's just, it's there. I mean, it really is. I mean, Toyota, major corporations are closing their DEI bullshit and turning away from it, saying, yeah, enough of that shit. We're not sponsoring this shit anymore. We're not doing this kind of political, divisive public relations shit anymore. We're just focusing on business. And a lot of these companies are bigger than Disney. So yeah, we've been looking at Hollywood like, it's the ground zero of this stuff. They're just the wokest place on earth already. They were always the most liberal place out there. So, we're kind of having a false view of the world by focusing so much scrutiny on Hollywood. Of course it's bad there. It always was going to be bad there. But the surrounding world, if we open our horizons and look around, things are already moving on. And I think that's a delightful thing. And hail to Retro Meister out there in the chat. Trevin Lane with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Trevin Lane. Says, I have also heard rumors that the expense of the Star Wars movies including ads, bribed journalists, and unsold merch, make them barely break even. I can't confirm, obviously, as I'm just some dude. Hey, man, I will trust just some dude over all of those assholes that you mentioned, Trevin Lane. And besides, you're our just some dude, brother. God bless you. Thank you for being here tonight. We really, really appreciate you. And Drake Timbershaft with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Drake. Says, so they had a girl clone named Omega in the Bad Batch. Nope. And not good enough. We need a trans trooper. That's right. Who drives a Trans Am with an automatic transmission. Of course, Disney is now on a transmission of sorts, aren't they? Hail to you, Drake Timbershaft. And all right, let's go ahead and transition back here now. Transitioning's on my mind. Let's go ahead and get to the movie that we love this week. And that movie is the classic Reanimator. And I don't think this movie's cheesy. I don't think this movie is schlock. I think this movie's a fucking masterpiece, except for the title sequence, which steals the theme from Psycho. Just an outright, only puts a disco beat with it or some shit. I mean, when I saw it in the theater, as much as, you know, the head between Barbara Crampton's lovely legs, I was speechless at just the outright theft of that theme. But overall, this is a hell of a fun movie. I wish they made more movies like this. I wish every day I could see a movie as great as Reanimator. I fucking love this thing. I give it 5 stars for just being balls to the wall, crazy ass, insane, over the top, grindhouse fun. Gary, what do you think of this damn movie?
Well, this movie's definitely edgy and very, very interesting and very, very, very graphic and detailed in its depiction of the story that it's telling. It's a very, very good movie.
Good. I'm glad you like it.
But oh yeah, I like this movie. It's like a, you know, it's a guilty pleasure to me.
What?
You know,
what?
I know you take it really seriously. I can't.
This is a classic. What are you fucking talking about?
Oh yeah, right up. Yeah, it's definitely the Citizen Kane of horror films, isn't it?
Well, kind of. I mean, you know, fucking Orson Welles cut a hole in the studio stage floor to lower the camera to get the right angle shot he wanted in Citizen Kane, and you know, they cut off a head and had the body, you know, lower the head between Barbara Crampton's legs to get exactly the angle that they wanted. So I mean,
Yes.
Jesus Christ, you know. Yes, I see parallels, but go ahead.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Reanimator. You know that movie where this guy is carrying around his own head and it goes down on the super hot naked chick? Well, that's Reanimator. Produced on a budget of $1 million and bringing in over $500,000 on its opening day for a total of over $2 million during its initial box office release. So it didn't do too bad. Director Stuart Gordon and his wife Carolyn founded the Organic Theater Company in 1969. Funded with the money they had received at their wedding, their little troupe saw some success in original productions and a building of talented performers such as Dennis Franz and Joe Mantegna. Realizing the potential of his creation, Gordon sought out to make a movie using his newfound assets. A friend recommended that he produce a horror film, seeing as they were the easiest and quickest to be financed. And that same friend suggested that he look into the works of Howard Phillips Lovecraft. A visit to the local library led Stewart to finding a series of 6 short stories entitled Herbert West, Reanimator. Stewart was very impressed by the 6 stories, and with the assistance of writer William J. Norris, began writing them as a series of half-hour television episodes with the intention of presenting them to PBS for a possible sale and distribution. Yeah, right. Gordon,
Right, imagine that on Masterpiece Theater.
yeah, Gordon set his adaptations in the time period of the original Lovecraft stories and intended them to be extremely graphic. PBS turned him down, citing that no one is looking for half-hour teleplays anymore, and the scripts were just too gruesome and violent for their channel. Discouraged, Norris and Gordon turned the work over to Dennis Paoli, a teacher of Gothic literature whom had worked with Gordon at the Organic Theater. Soon after their new scripts, based on the first 3 short Lovecraft stories, were in the works, producer Brian Usna stepped in with the intention of financially backing the project and suggested that all 6 stories be adapted into a single feature film. The idea was solid, and the project, now with a complete shooting script and producer, was pitched to the board of the Organic Theater. The board absolutely hated the idea, so Stuart Gordon and Brian Usna decided to pack up and head out to Los Angeles to get their movie made. After securing an unknown yet strong cast, Gordon and his actors would meet up in his apartment for many days to rehearse the entire script. This was a very unusual practice in Hollywood. However, Gordon knew the value of rehearsal due to his background in theater. Gordon even brought his cast to the Los Angeles County morgue to give them a sense of what it was like to be in proximity with an actual corpse. How about that? Special makeup effects artist and teacher John Nolan put the extreme low budget of the film to the test by bringing in his students as his crew to create the 89 effect shots for Reanimator. After his interns and their resources were completely exhausted, Nolan turned to Empire exec Charles Band for assistance in completing the effects for the film. Band brought on John Beekler to assist, and together with Nolan, they created 8 different gags for the most complicated effect of the film. Dr. Hill's corpse carrying around his own head. Several of the gags included an animatronic severed head of actor David Gale, a body extension worn by a stuntman to give the illusion that he was headless, an entire torso extension which allowed the illusion of Gale carrying his own head, and a cutaway stainless steel tray on a false table that David Gale stuck his head through for close-ups of conversations between Herbert West and Dr. Hill's head.
You know, John Landis had another solution.
Did he? He was the original director of this movie. For some reason he couldn't find what was left tomorrow. Much of the sometimes humorous and over-the-top mutilation effects were achieved using lots of hamburger meat. How about that?
There's the meatballs.
Did you want to throw in? Did you want to throw in that meatball? That meatball?
No, you got it. You got it.
Okay.
No,
okay.
that's okay. You do it.
All right. Herbert West's reagent was simply the glow liquid used in safety chem lights and Halloween glow sticks. Over 900 of them were used on set during principal photography and had a very short working time, which made the scenes tough to shoot. Here we go. This is appropriate for this guy here. Peter Kent, who plays Melvin, the reanimated corpse, was at the time the film was being shot, doubling for Arnold Schwarzenegger in James Cameron's The Terminator. That's him right there.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. A deleted scene shows Dr. Hill having brandy with the dean and hypnotizing him into believing his daughter's fiance was a bad influence to her in order to expel Dan Kane and sabotage Herbert West's plans. A subplot that was left on the cutting room floor was that Dr. Hill had hypnotic powers, which would explain why he had such a massive influence over the medical school and Dean Halsey, as well as all of the reanimated corpses at the end of the film. Apparently, that's why he's all following them. That was a deleted subplot. He was basically controlling them with his hypnotism.
Well, that's kind of important.
I believe so too. I mean, really, they're kind of following his lead at the end of the movie, and we don't really understand why because they cut that scene out. But let's see. The score performed by Richard Band was intended to be an homage to the film music of Bernard Herrmann. It is, in reality, a ridiculous and cringe-worthy facsimile of the great composer's score from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. That is the worst fucking part of this movie. The rest of it's cool. That score is, I can't do it. I have to skip through it. Let's see. The opening scene of the film, which takes place in a German medical facility and shows Dr. Herbert West performing one of his early experiments, was written but left out of the final shooting schedule due to budget constraints. After viewing an assembly cut of the film, producer Brian Usna insisted that the scene be shot and scraped together what little cash he could to make it happen. My final note, despite the film's moderate financial success, it did receive praise from most critics, including Pauline Kael and Roger Ebert. It won the Critics' Choice. Yeah, it won the Critics' Choice Award at the prestigious Cannes Film Festival and received a second life in the home video market when it was released on VHS. Sequels, comic books, and a Broadway musical adaptation all helped keep the legacy of Reanimator alive. Many fans of H.P. Lovecraft have openly criticized the film adaptation as being dishonorable, citing that their literary hero would never stoop to such exploitation, while in a very ignorant fashion have failed to realize that the author's series of Herbert West tales were in fact his raunchiest, tackiest, and most exploitative in his catalog. Did I get that word right? Exploitative? Exploitative? I don't know.
Yeah, and it was those were the first stories that he got paid money for, too.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were the first stories that he actually got paid money to do. But anyway, this movie is it's a Halloween essential. There you go, right there. That's basically it. That's every reason why you should watch this movie.
Yeah, right there.
It's something else.
Did I lie?
More.
No,
Did
next
I
shot.
lie?
The next shot.
Oh boy.
Right. Oh
Oh
boy.
boy.
Let's move on. All right.
But yeah, this is definitely a very interesting movie, and Barbara Crampton gives an amazing performance. You should at least watch it 3 or 4 times just to honor her, especially her scenes. You know, feel free to rewind them and pause them as you may feel necessary. But Jeffrey Combs is fantastic. He took this role basically because he was doing a couple little TV shows and maybe some commercials, and he really needed work, and he didn't feel like he was getting anywhere. And this basically launched his career. This movie is unlike any other I've ever seen. It's quite graphic, and it's very cool, very interesting new kind of modern take on the Frankenstein story.
100%. I absolutely love it. And Mexican Iron Man wanted me to skip him for this one. So let's go to Rob Wright. Rob, what'd you think of this movie? Are you grateful to me, huh? Are you?
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen it all the way through. I think I might have seen it, certain parts of it on cable when I was growing up. But it's a fun movie. You get thrown into it and you're interested in what happens, and it's a similar Frankenstein. There's some cool, interesting things to it because the scientist that he first experiments on in the beginning of the movie with the bad music is named Hans Gruber.
Yep.
And they're going, oh, Die Hard. And then the other thing that I love about this movie is like towards the end when the bad guy's addressing him, he goes, Mr. West, I'm just waiting for Artemis Gordon to jump out of somewhere, you know?
That's right.
Almost isn't like Wild Wild West. But yeah, it's, you know, the funny thing about this movie is that it has that 80s charm to it. It's got some funny scenes. The part I didn't really like was the cat scenes. I thought that was gruesome and cruel, but it was part of how they discover how the formula works. The zombies at the end are, oh my gosh. You're borderline softcore porn there with some of the shots of that. I was like, you know, guys, I do some of the screenshots for this. I was like, nope, can't get that one. Nope, can't get that one. But it's really cool and it's really frightening at the end. And just, you got to really suspend your logic a little bit and just have fun. And that's what this movie's about. It's about just having fun with Halloween and Halloween theme. So, you know, see this movie. It's classic. It's fun. It's got 80s horror all over it. And it's just a fun movie to watch. You know, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, so.
Absolutely. Let's go to, let's see, Osaka Chandal. What do you think of this movie?
Yeah, it was definitely like 80s nostalgia type deal. I agree with Robert. I didn't like the cat scene. But what I did find funny was, so like right before the cat scene, when the girlfriend is making love with the boyfriend and he's done, she seems so uninterested in him. Like she couldn't wait to get out of the house. And kind of feeling, and then like when the cat goes missing, she seems to care more about the cat than she did for the boyfriend. And that part I just couldn't stop laughing. But the boyfriend at the same time, he didn't seem to care about his own cat. Like even when he finds it in West's freezer, he didn't like say, "You killed my cat." He didn't say nothing like that. He's
That's
like,
pretty
"Oh,
common
well, he's in your fridge."
That's pretty common of ladies in the United States, Osaka.
I just thought it was really, really
They
funny.
really love their cats. That's all we can really say.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, I just thought it was just like really, really funny that she had more interest in the cat than her boyfriend. But then when her father's trying to tell her she can't see him again, that he's been expelled, she's like, "But I love him." But she had like no emotion in her face. She's like, "But I love him." So that part made me laugh. So I was wondering if she's doing that on purpose.
No idea.
But yeah, it was a fun movie. For those like who are new to it, who not used to 80s movie, don't think too logically into it. So it's like just enjoy the magic and let it be.
That's a good advice. I think there's a lot of magic in this. What do you think, Nick? Have you seen this movie? Nick, you there? Maybe he stepped away.
Yeah, I think he stepped away.
Let's go to anti-derivative Jill. What did you think of this movie?
So it's a wonderful happenstance that I'm invited to this show because the very first science fiction novel I ever read when I was a preteen was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
And H.P. Lovecraft's Reanimator is certainly inspired by it in unique degrees. And he basically came up with the zombies, I think, and with those disturbing imagery. Not this movie in particular, but he did. And this movie does capture some of those unnerving features and disturbing Lovecraft stuff. And so, and also he also created the assistant to the mad scientist trope, which here Dan Kane is a lot better looking than Igor. And obviously, as a Star Trek fan, I love Jeffrey Combs. I'm so happy that this launched his career. I love his numerous Star Trek roles. There's so many, but his most famous, of course, are the Ferengi Brent and the Vorta Wayun from Deep Space Nine, and Shan the Andorian from Enterprise.
I didn't know Combs was in Star Trek. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Like all over in Star Trek. I'm
in later Star Trek, not the original or
of course.
Yeah, I'm enraptured by his performance. It's absolutely creepy. He's aloof for anything but his work.
Yeah, he was excellent in this. I really thought he was kind of a kick-ass character.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's absolutely creepy for anything but his work. And he's furiously ambitious in his quest to conquer death to the point of he's like the perfect vision of a mad scientist. He holds it together. And probably my favorite aspect of this film actually is a surprise that his villainy, because I just thought, okay, he's the villain. But no, he's not only matched but overcome by Dr. Hill. And if you thought Herbert was bad, Dr. Hill is evil. He even more so. Like Herbert is a narcissist. He only cares about his work and stuff. But Dr. Hill, I guess the evil comes because of Herbert. Because once Dr. Hill dies and he's a corpse, he in the throes of reanimation, all of his previous inhibitions fall away, and now he's allowed to pursue all of the desires of greed and carnality that he held back when the pressures of morality of life fell away. And so yeah, no, but the only thing that's sad about it is that scene everybody's talking about. I think it's an amazing scene where you have the decapitated head nearly giving that girl head, but it's what's sad was that poor David Gale. His acting was exceptional. He did a great job, but because of this scene, he lost his marriage.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
What?
Really?
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I hear. And
Jeez.
yeah,
Somebody needs to tell that woman about acting, for God's sakes. Of course, Chris
yeah, he'll-
Christopherson got into deep shit with Rita Coolidge over scenes with Sarah Miles in the Fisherman in the what was it, the Fisherman in the Sea or something. It was like they were really, really, really like almost having sex on camera. Chris Christopherson and Sarah Miles and Rita Coolidge, his wife, I think divorced him or was going to divorce him. Anyway,
I think this movie's really rad. I like the questions that it brings up about whether or not you still would have your soul if you were dead and then you came back to life.
Yeah. Ravenscroft 82 has it close. The sailor who fell from grace with the sea. That was the name of the movie.
Wait,
oh yeah, good points. Good points, Andy Derivative Joe.
My favorite supporting character has to be Mace, the security guard, from his introduction. His awesome line.
He was so awesome.
Yeah, from the morgue, he says,
amazing.
nobody wants in and ain't nobody getting out. And
and at one
words
point,
to
he
live
did
by.
a magazine.
Yeah,
Words
that's
to
exactly
live
what I was
by.
going to say. Toxic masculinity saved Mace's life because he was paying attention to the magazine instead of.
Well done.
Instead of,
See, toxic masculinity, it saves lives.
I do have a question for the panel. Did anyone else get like Pet Cemetery vibes from this film? Because I did.
I don't really.
Like, the people died, but they buried them and going back to life, and they came back like zombies. And then one point, even the police officer was like, decapitated, and then he's back to life. And then at the end, the wife dies and tries to bring her back to life. And I guess kind of got that.
I didn't really put that together,
but there are similar themes. That's very true. That's very true. The DA, what'd you think of this movie, man? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I saw it maybe, back in the 80s. I haven't really revisited it since, but yeah, just again, another classic horror from the 80s, and a lot of the themes that they played upon then are, reintroduced now. And but yeah, I don't have a lot of memories of this movie. It is good. I do remember enjoying it. I remember the gore. I'm a gore hound, I guess. So I do remember it being very gory. But yeah, just a fun movie. In the 80s used to be very creative, so I enjoyed the creativity that they used to bring to horror back then. They don't really do that as much now, other than like things like Terrifier 3 or Terrifier 3, which just came out. Phenomenal. But back then, you didn't know what you were going to get when it came to horror. So I really enjoyed this back then, but I haven't seen it in probably since maybe like the late 90s. So I haven't seen it in a while. So it's been a while since I revisited, but now I want to go and watch it again because I
need to check it out.
I do remember enjoying this.
It is a real classic. I think you'll be grateful. Hear me now, believe me later. You'll enjoy it. Andy Masterson, anything you have to say about this?
Well, somewhere in the back of your mind has to be playing this question. What exactly were Rob Wright's smiley faces covering up? You have to watch the movie just for that. I mean, it's an essential part of the plot. I mean, wow. Barbara Crampton, can you imagine reading for this role, oh, by the way, we have to get you completely naked, strapped on a table where you're going to be serviced by a severed head. And her agent's probably like, give me another line of cocaine and just agree to it. When this movie first came out, which I did see in the theaters, probably more than once, definitely more than once, because back in the 80s, they had this policy where they would have beautiful people naked a lot. And the ladies really can't complain because, all right, yeah, so maybe the guys were zombies when they were naked, but still, you got naked men on screen. Barbara Crampton, wow, she was quite stunning in this. She was quite a lovely creature. The 80s were a great time, lots of excess, as you can tell by the gore. And a lot of these things were a little bit campy, but that's what made them so fun. You could actually go in and enjoy the movie. Imagine that, having a sense of humor. I think this and Return of the Living Dead had that kind of tongue-in-cheek quality to it, which was you're sitting there thinking to yourself, like, how much more ridiculous can some of these things get? And then they surprise you with it. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time of the season for Halloween movies. And if you want to check out something that's a little bit off the beaten trail and a little bit different, and you'll have some fun with, definitely check this out. It's definitely an interesting piece that I think most people will find strangely amusing, instead of just, yeah, it is gory. It is gory. There's lots of crap flying around, and back in the 80s, there was a lot of that stuff with the horror movies. We had 3D Friday the 13th things with pitchforks and hearts and stuff like that. But this is actually done much better than that. And the acting, the performances, as outlandish and the scenarios of some of these things are, they're done really well. They're very amusing in the way that they're put together. The actors actually put in a very good performance, given the material they have to work with. And you contrast this with the multi-million-dollar productions of like Agatha and what was that, Acolyte stuff, and you see the performances these actors actually bring out. They actually care about what they're doing, and they do some good work in here. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and check it out if you haven't seen it.
That's the thing, man. I mean, that's the thing that, I would say about this movie, and that's why I regard it so highly, is it's fucking fun. It's fun. And it's not like your average, just scary movie. I mean, it's off the beaten path. It's original. It's original, and it's bold, and it dares to fucking go where, logic would suggest it should not go, and it delivers the goods, full frontal nudity, massive gore, lots of humor in it. I mean,
they had equality with the nudity, because they both had male and female zombies that were naked.
That's exactly
correct. They had
correct.
different types of body types. Some was old, some was young. So there was equality there.
And it had Star Trek angles for anti-derivative Jill and myself. So, I mean, geez, what more can you
And
ask?
Dan, he turns into a superhero at the end, crushing the corpses with the axe and all of this.
It's just fucking great. And then I love the very end, where he like goes back to the syringe, it's just it's just great, except for the fucking music, which was a sin. A sin. I couldn't believe it.
Really cool. It kind of reminded me of like Biohazard or Resident Evil. Like it just came to life and it wrapped around the guy like an anaconda.
Yeah, like a anaconda. Yes. I don't know how they got that like serum to glow so bright. It was such a cool looking effect. It just,
probably the type of film stock.
It's just amazing,
because with all those lights on set, it's really hard to get that glow liquid to look that bright. But they probably had like, 800 grain, film stock and really low lighting.
Fantastic shit, man. It is great. All right, let's go ahead and get to the rest of these super. What were you going to say, Jill, real quick?
Oh, just one more thing. I even liked Alan. Megan's dad is, because you think he's just turned into a zombie and that's all he ever is, but he overcomes that. His love for his daughter overcomes that psychic power or whatever Hill had over him. I thought that was really good. Awesome.
It was a warm, genuine moment. But in the meantime, back to the nudity.
Well, like also when the zombies were all ripping him apart.
Of course,
he gave them a chance to escape.
Absolutely.
You usually don't see that kind of love from a father for his naked daughter outside of Alabama.
That's right. That's right. In Alabama, what do you call a girl that can run faster than her brothers? A virgin. That's what you call it. All right, let's go ahead and get to some of these here super chats.
Super chat, small fall.
All right, here we go. And no offense to Alabama, that's just a stock joke that you can tell about damn near any like place, like Arkansas. I usually do it as Arkansas, but you know, Tennessee could be anything. Let's see, where was I before I such a
Why don't you
terrible.
throw in a couple more states and insult everybody?
Why, you know, with pineapples, Vladivostok is very big on that. Jack White with a $5 super chat and a $2 super chat two in a row. Thank you, Jack White. Says, my lord, I just sent you and Mike emails with thoughts about the Tomb Raider conversation. Please share them with the panel and the chat, whichever one of you can get to your email quicker. Well, while Gary was doing his fact recital there, his notes for the movie, I got it for you, and here's what Jack White has to say regarding Tomb Raider and Lara Croft. None of this is surprising, especially since a lot of this girl boss masculine worshipping crap originates from Simone de Beauvoir, an ugly, manly-looking woman and a giant degenerate. She was a Marxist. She had a real thing about wanting the human race to go extinct, and she abused her position as a professor to force her female students to jerk off in front of her and have sex with her. And on top of all that, she was attracted to kids, allegedly. P.S. The reason I have to send this thought via email is because of YouTube's wacky censorship. They won't let me type the words ugly and degenerate in a message for some bizarre ass reason. So there you go, Jack. I have read your message, my friend. Thank you for that. Little historical context there, folks. Jack Green Hat with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Green Hat. Says, does Michelle fly an XX wing or an XY wing? Only Mike or Michelle can answer that question. I don't know. Maybe Mike has stepped away for a sec, but
I think Michelle got a new fan base.
Yeah, I
Everyone in
think
the
so.
chat loves Michelle.
I'm definitely a fan.
Michelle would only fly an XX wing. Come on, you know,
I just hope
XY
Catherine
wings will
Kennedy
be illegal.
still- Just hope Kathleen Kennedy doesn't steal Michelle's ideas.
Well, I think they're out there already. I think Michelle has given away too much there. Vinny NJ78 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Vinny. He says, when they zoomed in on Not Wiccan at the end of Agatha All Gone Wrong, am I the only one who was thinking Rose Dower? I think the only one that watched it at this point was our crash test smarty, Doug Nelson, and he has left. So
I saw it.
you saw it. Then did you think when they zoomed in on Not Wiccan at the end of Agatha All Gone Wrong, Rose Dower?
Nah, I just thought pathetic.
Okay, well, there you go. Thank you, Vinny NJ78. I wish we could all answer that question, but we just can't stand that show. Sorry, my friend. Angry Yeti TV with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Angry One. Says, Mexican Iron Man, when is the window surgery?
Okay, see that's another violation. That's the second one in the show. Okay, now it's one thing if it's the panel, it's another thing if it's the chat. Now I'm gonna talk to Michelle, and she's gonna be coming for you, sir.
Michelle.
I know. I feel your pain, Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah, Harvey, you and I are like you and I are the falsely accused ones on this panel.
We always are, man. All this bullshit about paternity and crap, and my sister Harriet gives me shit, and your hermana Michelle, enforces your life. It's a very disturbing situation.
Yeah, but Mike's a good dad.
Fuck off,
Harry, let's just push the button. Let's just push the button.
Yeah, let's push the button, and then I'll go ahead and do all the child support. You bet your ass. Not that I have any kids, but you know what I'm saying.
Good one.
Corbin Dallas has been a channel member for 14 months at the Dumentide level. Thank you, Corbin. Thank you, Corbin Dallas. Says the band At the Gates has a song titled Windows. It made me think of you, Mexican Iron Man.
There we go again.
Oh!
What the hell? What is this?
What the hell? And he says, with that said, hail one and all, and God bless. Hail to Corbin, Dallas. Corbin. Thank you, Corbin. Well, Mexican Iron Man, do you have a rebuttal?
I'm gonna think of one.
All right. It's just false. You deny it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Categorically.
I don't have anything in common with. What are you talking about, you people? These people in this chat are great, but they're crazy.
Yeah, well, these memes,
these stupid memes, these false accusations, man. They just run with it, and it takes on a life of its own. It's garbage.
You have Harvey's sympathy, Mike. So there you go. Taylor Swift greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU, and Doctor Who. Says two women on the panel. Finally, LOL. Hail to Taylor Swift. Hey, why don't you ask Taylor Swift if she wants to be on the panel? We'll bring her on, and then we'll have three women on the panel, and then ask Justin Bieber, and we'll have 4. Thank you, Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU, and Doctor Who. Trevin Lane gifted 5 Overlord DVD memberships to this channel. God bless you, Trevin Lane. We truly appreciate you. And Mr. House Party 6 also gifted 5 Overlord DVD memberships to this channel. We have 21 new members tonight, folks. 21 new members. Thanks to good folks like Muzzle Velocity, Trevin Lane, and Mr. House Party 6, among others. Thank you very, very much, Trevin Lane, Mr. House Party 6, and Muzzle Velocity. SFX3 F314 Sabretooth Raptor with a $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, in honor of tonight's movie, which would be more scarier? A reanimated zombie version of Alf, Smurf, Garfield the Cat, T-Rex, Culture Casino, Jaws the Shark, Dr. No 007, Jango Fett, or Jabba the Hutt? Mike, I don't think you would like a reanimated zombie version of Alf, would you?
No, Alf is. If Alf is dead, let's leave him where he belongs.
Smurf, I don't know. I would probably go with Alf. Anyone disagree?
I think the T-Rex.
James Cameron might go with that version of the Smurfs.
Actually, we've seen a zombie T-Rex if you watched Primal, the animated series. Remember, y'all who watched it? Any of you guys watch Primal, the animated series?
Yeah. That is amazing.
Remember when the dinosaur is infected with that thing and he's pretty much a zombie, and that was fucking terrifying, actually.
Now, how is it that a show with no dialogue can do a better story than these $230 million things that they make
in like 25 minutes?
Yeah. Wow.
Those episodes were like some of those. You should watch it, Gary. No, but just the first season. The second season goes down the toilet, and but the first season is every episode is a masterpiece. Just 25-minute animated episodes, no dialogue, a caveman and a dinosaur navigating that difficult land down there in the prehistoric past. It's outstanding, really outstanding. There's more intensity and moments of beauty and terror in a 25-minute animated episode than in most movies these days. Honest to God. But God, they fucked it up in the second season. Hi, Dragon Star with a $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says Juji Ito. Definitely check out best horror manga. Some things are too horrific, though. I mean, I hear you and I believe you, but it's like, geez, I don't know. Do I really want to see it? Is it too much? Big Daddy MRI gifted 5 Overlord DVD memberships to this channel. God bless you, Big Daddy MRI. Appreciate you, my friend. You are awesome. 21 new members tonight, folks. Remember that. That's a fantastic number. And Michael Beacom with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Michael Beacom. Says, check the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society's Cthulhu musical, A Shoggoth on the Roof. Based on Fiddler on the Roof music, Herbert West is in it.
Wow.
Is it like, did they record it, Michael Beacom? I mean, is there like a video of it out, or is it just like an album or something? Let us know in the chat, Michael Beacom. People are interested. A Shoggoth on the Roof, ladies and gentlemen. Sigvaldason, the high priest of the cult of Harvey, with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Sigvaldason. Says, I suspect that our eldritch god would be more than happy to assist you with that cold. All you have to do is push the button. Harvey Cthulhu, hear our prayer and help the Overlord.
Oh, I like to help him. I like to give him a little peace. Hey, how about some eternal peace? How would that be?
Fuck off.
Don't need to be rude.
Susan Dolan with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Susan. Says, my Overlord, have you done a movie we love on the Book of Eli? I just got it. I won't spoil it, but the expression on Oldham's face at the end is priceless. I have not seen it. You know, has anybody here seen the Book of Eli? I know that's
I haven't either. No.
I have.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I've seen it.
Gary Oldman is the only
Very
thing
good.
good in it.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Okay.
Gary
well, fair
Oldman's
enough.
the best thing in it.
It's got a cool little twist at the end.
All right.
Hmm.
Well, I will. What is Eli turned out to be a she?
No.
Gary Oldman like finally buy him drinks and waste a whole shit ton of post-apocalyptic credits on his ass, and then
if they made the movie today, it'd probably be that.
Yeah.
Doom, real quick, do you know that there's a movie where Gary Oldman plays a little person? I'm not kidding.
I
He
did not
plays a
know
little
that.
guy.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's
Where?
some movie with who's the actor? Hey, that guy.
McConaughey.
Who's it? McConaughey, yeah. And it's this weird, bizarre movie, but he plays a little person. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe somebody in the chat will pull it up.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yes.
No,
Tiptoes?
It's called
Tiptoes, the Whippers-
Tiptoes.
Tiptoes. That's it. Yeah.
Raphael Lopez. in the
There you
chat.
go. Tiptoes. Appropriate name.
Is it supposed to be a comedy or something?
I don't know. It's just this weird, bizarre kind of movie. I don't know. I have
It's
no idea.
about McConaughey is dating this girl, and she wants to get married, but he's afraid to because he's the only one that's not little in his whole family, and he's afraid to have a kid that's going to be a little person. And she goes and discovers that, like, oh, here's Gary Oldman, his brother, because he comes to visit, and like, oh wow, it's actually I watched about half of it. My wife was started to watch it, and something happened. I never got to finish the end of it. But it's actually pretty good. I mean, solid performances all around, as you can expect from these actors.
Oh my god!
You only watched half of it, huh, Andy?
I was short on time.
Well, get off your high horse. Finish it up.
I just would like to all these jokes. I really hate that we stoop so low in this show. It's really.
I'm sorry, Doom. I didn't mean to cut you short.
No.
It was just a little rude.
I'd like to get out of this, but I'm just stumped. So I.
You'll have to rise to the occasion.
Oh my god.
Shoot.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay. Well, I guess we better move on. But I love Gary Oldman. He's always great in everything that he does. What an
half the
incredibly
time.
talented guy. Half the time in that case. Anyway, James Meneely with a $10 super chat. Thank you, James. Says woke movies are DOA. Amen. Fucking worthless garbage. Worthless fucking garbage. 110%, James. I agree entirely. And the Guardian of Azarath with a £5 super chat. Thank you very much, oh Guardian of Azarath. There have been 4 or so AC games with black/non-white leads. The best is Origins in Egypt. Ubisoft's excuse when Shadows fails in February will be a lie. Yeah, right. I mean, I don't think that there's any objection to there being a black or non-white lead in an Assassin's Creed game. It's that a black samurai in Japan at the period is widely regarded as complete nonsense and pandering, and it's insult. I mean, is that not correct, Osaka-chan doll?
Yeah, it's insulting here. Plus, it's not factual, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to claim it as factual so that the non-educated people who don't know anything about Japanese history will believe it and then automatically think that the same Western beliefs of racism and hatred started in Japan as well, when it was never like that. And so, yeah, it's like Assassin's Creed, every game they came out with, the protagonist is from that country, of that culture. So why is it Japan's the only one that's different? Like, the protagonist is not Japanese, and that it's someone of another culture killing Japanese people. And then, of course, they have the Chinese architect, the signs that were stolen that belongs to people of today, and not to mention the armor. Part of the armor design is upside down. It's like there's so many things wrong with it. And they don't admit it. They're like, no, Japanese people are wrong when it comes to their history. We got it right because we made it up. Like, no.
Derek, do you feel represented in Assassin's Creed Shadows?
I don't feel represented at all, man.
That's
it's just fake. It's just fake and phony, man. That's the problem with all of this crap. It's pandering.
It is. It absolutely is.
That's like
it's just a slap
Simalu
in the face.
100%.
Give me some real representation. They don't want to do that. They want to race swap Little Mermaid. They want to throw Yasuke into the Assassin's Creed. It's like, come on, knock it off. Tired of this crap.
Yeah, I agree entirely. Angry Yeti TV with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Angry One says, did you hear about the Little Mermaid actress? She started in OnlyFins.
I'm fishy about that.
I'm not surprised. Like when they were doing the Little Mermaid, she complained about the outfit for the Little Mermaid, so they replaced it with like a different top because she said the seashells were too revealing. But then when promoting the movie, she's wearing all these skimpy top like outfits that her boobs are literally out to her neck and completely popped out. And then she's hiding her pregnancy during the whole entire time, trying to act like she's a sweet, innocent, clean, like virginal type girl. And then, so now that she has her kid and she's not getting any work, let's start an OnlyFans.
Well, it was a joke. It was OnlyFins, but you understand. Actually, OnlyFins.
Well, thanks to Gary, I did do some research on the star of The Acolyte, and I highly recommend, Doomcock, that you check this out because, well, you just have to see for yourself. Very, very. If they had gone with that costuming theme that she did on this Paris runway thing, I guarantee The Acolyte would have been so much more successful.
Yeah, I
they
saw
might have
that.
had to. They may have had to put a different rating on it, but it would.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that actually. Yeah. But I couldn't, separate. That woman. I can't even look at her anymore. I don't even want to think about her. Terrible shit. Nathan Robinson with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Nathan. Says shout out for Hunter x Hunter, best manga and anime. Thank you, Nathan Robinson. Hunter x Hunter. And Evan Peterson with a $2 super chat. Hail Evan says, you two want to stop being accused? Start behaving.
See, Evan Peterson spreads this bullshit, Mike. It's just
exactly. That's why he needs to be canceled right now. Yeah,
he
you are
needs to be
hereby
canceled.
Yes, I'm going to contact YouTube, and he's suspended from YouTube.
There you go. You're fascist.
Because they would believe Michelle before they believe you are a Mexican man because you're a male. So they're like, no, we're not going to listen to his complaint. If Michelle, then they'll pay attention to it.
That's a good point.
Maybe I'll get Harriet to speak for me.
There you go. Now you're cooking with gas, Harvey Cthulhu. Trevin Lane with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Trevin Lane says the XY wing is a canon starship in Legends. It is an ugly improvised starfighter with an X-wings chassis and a Y-wings engines. It is terrible. Well, it's kind of fitting with that theme, isn't it? Thank you, Trevin Lane. Well said, sir. Well said. And Jack White with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jack. Says some series recommendations to satisfy my lord's toxic masculinity. Queen's Blade, Date Alive, To Love Ru, Love Hina, Nisekoi Ridu of Healer. Thank you very much, Jack White. And Jack White also says with a $5 super chat, a couple of thriller series recommendations. Gantz, The Kingdoms of Ruin, Guyver, The Bio-Boosted Armor. All, I'm sure, excellent suggestions, Jack White. Thank you, sir, for those. And Greg C. with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Greg. Says, thanks for having the DA on the panel. A big fan I am. Love you, brother, and hail Overlord DVD. So you got some love from the chat here, the DA.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Amen. And Elite Slayer Paul has been an arch villain for 4 months at a channel member. Hail to Elite Slayer Paul. Says, hail to DC panel and chat. Hail to you, Elite Slayer Paul. All right, folks, that catches us up here. Let's go ahead and plug away on whatever we would like to plug as we say goodnight. Gary Ambrosia, go ahead and say whatever you would like to say, my friend.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to do the meme thing. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. We love you so much. Hail to the chat. Hail to the wrenches. We know that you have a choice every single Wednesday night, and you choose to be with us because you're just as insane as we are, and we love you so much. So we'll see you next week with another awesome, fun Halloween probably style movie, I'm sure. And we're gonna have some more shit to talk. So yeah, stay angry, kids. We'll see you later.
Thank you very much, Gary. Mexican Iron Man, the victim of all this slander and scurrilous talk. Go ahead and plug away, my friend.
Well, I want to promote people that if they feel the need to talk about me and Harvey and talk smack, they need to consult their mental health advisor.
Yeah, that's right.
Before next Wednesday, because I will be back, and Harvey and I are going to have a special meeting. We're going to build some bridges here, and we're going to talk about it. This must end. It's been going on for 3 years now, and me and Harvey are well, for Harvey 7, but for me, we're not taking this anymore.
We're fed up with it. We're not gonna take it. Oh no, we ain't gonna take it.
That's right. All right. Hail to you both, and we're ending this discrimination. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for making the time, brother.
Thanks
I know how
me,
exhausted you
brother.
are.
Thanks for having me.
Let's see, Osaka Chandal, please go ahead and plug away.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm really happy and I'm really glad I got to meet everyone on the panel. Yeah, I have a channel, Osaka Chandal, where I tell ghostly stories, Japanese urban legends, and stories that I also make up. But sometimes I also show little top 10 facts about Japan, which people seem to really love. And I also share music videos from time to time. So if I make it up to 500 subscribers, I will release the video of Doomcock that I made for him.
Thank you very, very much, Osaka Chandal. We appreciate you being here. And Nick, are you back? And can you say anything about your channel?
I am back. Yep. I am One Half Echo Base Network. You can find me and Coach over there streaming every Thursday night with me, Coach Matt Risman, and the Joker here on the panel tonight for the first time. The DA. That's Thursday night, 7 Central. Then EBN Cast every Friday afternoon with me, Stone Loki, Culture Casino, and John F. Trent from That Park Place. That's 2 o'clock Central. And Coach and I may be doing a gaming stream later tonight. He's actually going through Alien Isolation for the first time. We went through the first part of the game last night, so we might actually do a late night gaming stream tonight. So be on the possible lookout of that.
All right. Thank you, Nick, very, very much. Robert Wright, go ahead and plug away, my friend.
I have my own channel, Rob Wright's Gen X Pop Culture, and look for I released this week a video on Beverly Hills Cop 2, so go check that out. And then should be this weekend. It's been taking me a while, but I'm releasing a video on The Thing. Got some interesting theories, and I'm going to try and put some pieces together on who was infected on that. And then this weekend I may try and do a live stream, just celebrating all the things we love about Halloween. And then next weekend on the 27th, we're going to have a panel and do the hits of 1981. We got to go back and do 1980 and 81 before we do 88 and 89. So look for that coming up on my channel. Also, guys, start your weekend with Doomcock right here on this channel. Friday Night Frolics on Friday night at 7:30. Doomcock sings some amazing songs. We have a lot of fun in the chat. Harvey comes in with his awful jokes from that joke book. We just have a good time starting off for the weekend. And it's a really great way to start your weekend because you get a belly full of laughs and we just have fun and get to know each other in the chat. So come join us right here, 7:30, Friday Night Frolics.
Thank you very much. Rob writes Gen X Pop Culture. Anti-Derivative Jill, go ahead and plug away.
Oh,
You've got a channel.
Yeah, definitely. And I do have a channel, but I definitely want to echo Friday Night Frolics. It's the reason why I'm here. And I just really appreciate being able to talk to you. The panel and the chat, everyone's amazing. I do have a channel where I like to celebrate good storytelling in science fiction. And I've reviewed the Orville original Star Trek and movies, some UFO and other cool films and stuff. Right now, I'm taking a look at For All Mankind by Ronald D. Moore because I want to be caught up with that when the new season gets here. And so that's a way that shows because it's a real writer from real Star Trek. It's no surprise that he's able to introduce progressive ideas without badgering the audience or and all of that. So he definitely put story first. And after that's done, I'm going to move on to the Twilight Zone, which should starting during the Christmas holiday. And on Fridays, I'm continuing through my way through Harry Potter movies. And right now, I'm on the Half-Blood Prince. Leading up to Halloween. And on some Saturdays, I even get to play some computer games. Right now, I'm playing the first Fallout game from 1997, and on more random occasions. I just have open topic streams for whoever wants to come talk to me and come hang out.
All right. Thank you very much, Jill. Always a pleasure. And the DA, man, go ahead and plug away.
Yeah, thank you very much once again for letting me on the stream to bless. Yeah, you guys blessed me, and I'm blessing you right back. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate Mexican Iron Man, Nick, Gary, for all of the support you guys have given. Also, Osaka Chandal. You guys have given me a lot of support, so thank you very much. And I was glad to share a stream with you guys. So you can catch me on Derek Anderson, the DA. That's my channel. I usually drop a video every single day, more than one. And then I have my night streams. I'll be doing a nightcap stream tonight. So anybody that's familiar with that, I'll be going on live. After I finish watching Agatha All Along, I'm going to watch that next episode of Agatha All Along, and then I'm going to do a stream on that. So join with me in the pain. All right, help me get through that. And then you guys can catch me on Sundays after 7 when the Penguin drops. I'll be doing the DA's office after that. So I appreciate you, Doomcock. I love your work, man. I've been a big fan of you for a long time. Thank you very much for bringing me on. I appreciate it. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for the support, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Thank you, the DA. Great to have you on, my friend, and you did a great job. And Andy Masterson, as always, my friend, go ahead and plug away.
Thank you so much for joining us for this Halloween season. As we draw to the last 2 weeks of our special Halloween editions. Next week, we're going to have yet another classic Halloween-themed movie for your viewing pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We look forward to entertaining you next week and then the following week, where we will be producing a show all about our favorite Halloween movies. Because if news is as sparse as it is right now, we'll probably have a lot to talk about with good classic movies. Because right now it seems like everything is pretty much just sitting at a standstill. Thank you very much for joining us, and hope to see you next week.
Thank you very much, Andy. And thanks to all of you in the chat and all of you wrenches out there doing such a great job tonight. And got a couple more super chats here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and get those because we leave no super chat behind on this channel. Drunk Dog with a Gun with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Drunk Dog with a Gun says, imagine my surprise waking up to a live stream, LOL. Love your content. Thoughts on Absolute Batman? I don't know what Absolute Batman is. Is that
I don't either.
Is that a vodka?
Yeah, it's like Batman's vodka, Batman's bread. I don't know. What is Absolute Batman, guys?
Does anybody here know?
I don't know.
What was
Sounds
the new
interesting.
animated series called? The one that had the gender swap penguin. Is that?
Oh,
is
that's
that
not
the
called.
one?
That's Batman, the Cape Crusader, right?
I don't know. That one was bad.
But yeah, that was shit.
It's like
I
it's a book.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a new. Yeah, it is. Absolute Batman #1. It's a new Batman comic.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And apparently it's like super woke and dumb. And I guess DC or a lot of fans of it are saying that it's selling out everywhere. But people online have been going to their comic shops and newsstands and where comics are sold and showing just loads and loads of them on the shelf.
Okay, well, I see. I've been driven away from comics and comic shops, especially DC and Marvel, because of all the woke bullshit. I mean, that's why I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's just another one.
I mean, yeah,
Without the mansion,
all the time. You know?
Without the money, without the butler, what's left is the absolute Dark Knight. That's the tagline for the comics. So I don't know.
Maybe the absolute Dark Knight. Maybe little butt play, right, Robin? But yeah, no, I a drunk dog with a gun. I guess my ignorance is my thoughts, because I will not look at this woke shit anymore. I haven't.
It's the one with that really crappy Batman logo.
Okay,
did you see that? Like the Batman, see his chest logo? It's like a little square. It's terrible. It's that
fuck these idiots. I'm so sick of this shit.
Yeah,
it's woke fucking wasteland. I swear. Yeah, as bad as Hollywood is, it's nothing compared to comics. Nothing.
Yeah.
You know, hail to Comicsgate and Ethan. You know, Ethan Van Scriver. Uncle EVS. They knew what they were talking about years and years and years ago. Yeah, Rhinestone Batman and boy, says Mr. House Party 6. Yeah. Jack White with 3 $5 super chats in a row, going ahead and offering up, actually 4, offering up a few more series recommendations, folks. So jot these down. Ron Kamonohashi's Forbidden Deductions, More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers, Berserk of Gluttony, Yu Yu Hakusho, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Full Metal Panic, Rurouni Kenshin, Blue Exorcist, Seraph of the End, Hunter x Hunter, which is what the DA's got on his cap there. So he knows can you attest to the goodness of that?
Oh yeah, man. It's one of the best, man. Probably top 5 all time.
Damn, okay.
That in Berserk.
Gundam, Berserk is fantastic. I love Berserk.
I haven't watched Berserk yet, but I got to get to it.
Oh, I've got the manga. I haven't looked at the anime, but I'm reading the manga.
Okay.
Gundam Wing, Zeta Gundam, The Big O, Oprah again. Onikawa, Over the Moon for You, World Trigger, Mobile Fighter, G Gundam, Wistoria Wand and Sword, Demon Slayer, Tokyo Revengers, Bungao Stray Dogs, Hayuka, and Classroom. Haiku. Haiku, okay, and Classroom of the Elite. So what do you guys think of Jack White's taste? He knows quite a bit. He knows quite a bit.
Yeah, he's really good. I'm wondering what he thinks about the Netflix's new Gundam series, Requiem of Vengeance, that comes out today. So I'm wondering if that's going to be good or not.
I bet he will have an opinion on it for next week. I would be very, very surprised if he did not, because he really follows this stuff. All right, folks, from the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock and my panel of pop culture pundits bidding you all, my friends, stay angry, and we hope to see you next week. And check out Friday Night Frolics next time as well. Good night, everybody. Good night,
guys.
Bye. Bye-bye.